Chapter 993. Mo Feng Yun. If you can pass the divine punishment and sublimate your Tao, I will give you a chance to live and let you submit to me. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test. Seeing that Mo Feng Yun had attracted the divine punishment, Yi Chenfeng revealed a meaningful smile. He stopped attacking him and quickly retreated to the side. When Yi Chenfeng retreated, the heavily injured Mo Feng Yun did not dare to stay any longer. He wanted to take this opportunity to escape. However, when he tried his best to break out of the encirclement, an illusory figure stood in front of him, blocking his path. Yi Chenfeng, do you want to perish together with me? Feeling that the divine punishment was about to descend, Mo Feng Yun, who was under great pressure and smelled the scent of death, roared at Yi Chenfeng. Mo Feng Yun, don't be nervous. Yi Chenfeng smiled and said, I said, if you can pass the divine punishment, I will give you a chance to submit to me. But if you fail, you will be struck to death by the divine punishment. You can't blame anyone. You. Looking at Yi Chenfeng's calm appearance, Mo Feng Yun felt uneasy. However, Yi Chenfeng was too strong. He could not break out of the encirclement with his strength. Helpless, Mo Feng Yun could only suppress the impulse and uneasiness in his heart. He quickly sat cross-legged on the ground, adjusted his breathing, and waited for the divine punishment to descend. If he could pass the divine punishment and break through to the 5th level, Mo Feng Yun felt that he might have a chance to live. At the moment of life and death, he could only stake everything on a single throw, competing with the heavens, gambling with the heavens. The divine punishment was about to descend. Everyone quickly retreated to the outside of the tribulation area. Feeling that the divine punishment attracted by Mo Feng Yun was not ordinary, Kong Sungqin and the others quickly led the people of the Misty Mountain to the outside of the tribulation area in case they were attacked by the divine punishment. What kind of divine punishment would Mo Feng Yun attract when he broke through to the 5th level? Yi Chenfeng looked at the rolling tribulation clouds in the sky that were getting thicker and thicker. He showed a trace of expectation. I hope it won't disappoint me. The reason why Yi Chenfeng showed mercy was that he wanted to subdue Mo Feng Yun. If he could subdue him, Yi Chenfeng could do a lot of things with his identity. Rumble-deafening roars of thunder rang out from the black tribulation cloud that was tens of zhang high. The frightening sound caused many of the weaker Misty Mountain disciples to instinctively feel fear. Their legs could not help but tremble. It was as if the heavenly punishment was descending, and they would be crushed by the heavenly punishment, leaving not even their bones behind. As the thunder in the tribulation clouds became more and more frequent, a doomsday appeared in the thick tribulation clouds, reflecting a black light that illuminated the entire space. The strange scene was as if the end of the world had arrived. Armageddon heavenly punishment. This Mo Feng Yun really didn't disappoint me. If he could survive the Armageddon heavenly punishment, his strength and Tao intent would grow a lot, and he would become an important chess piece for me. Yi Chenfeng was well aware of the power of the sun extinguishing heavenly punishment. He revealed a faint smile as his body flickered and appeared beside Mo Qianxin, who was still bound by the sky demon. He untied him and threw him towards Mo Feng Yun. Seeing Yi Chenfeng toss Mo Qianxin over, Mo Feng Yun frowned. However, he didn't waste Yi Chenfeng's good intentions. He quickly fused with Mo Qianxin, further increasing his strength. Boom! 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 Just as Mo Feng Yun was refining the ancient heavenly fruit that he suspected came from the heavenly domain to heal his injuries, nearly 1,000 bolts of lightning shot down like the Milky Way, bombarding Mo Feng Yun and Yi Chenfeng, who was in the tribulation area. Sensing the terror of the heavenly punishment, many Misty Mountain disciples who weren't mentally strong fell to the ground in fright. Their faces were ashen as their bodies trembled. Yi Chenfeng didn't react to the extremely destructive bolts of lightning as he stood in the air. He allowed the bolts of lightning to strike his body, using the power of lightning to temper his physical body. Yi Chenfeng easily endured the heavenly punishment, but Mo Feng Yun wasn't as calm as him. He held the sky demon Tao weapon and attacked with all his might, shaking the heavenly punishment. The heavenly fruit that Mo Fengyun had consumed contained an extremely large amount of energy. Under the heavenly punishment, the energy of the heavenly fruit constantly fused into Mo Fengyun's body, replenishing his body's energy and supporting him to go through the tribulation. Although Yi Chunfeng was engulfed by 1,000 bolts of lightning, they couldn't break through his physical body's defense, let alone injure him. Under the tempering of the lightning bolts, he tried to fuse the heavenly punishment's power into his Shinjua acupoint, slowly increasing the strength of his physical body. Senior Jiang, will Chunfeng be all right? Although Yi Chunfeng was strong, Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia couldn't help but feel nervous after witnessing him being engulfed by several hundred bolts of lightning. Don't worry, Chunfeng's strength far surpasses us 3 old fellows. This level of heavenly punishment won't be a threat to him. Looking at the 2 beautiful faces, Kong Sungchun said with a faint smile. He wasn't worried about Yi Chunfeng's safety at all. More and more lightning bolts broke through the tribulation clouds. Yi Chunfeng and Mo Fengyun endured nearly 2 hours of baptism before the first level of heavenly punishment disappeared. Just as the first level of heavenly punishment, which was covered in blood and had charred skin, dissipated, the most terrifying sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment descended. When it landed in midair, the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment split into 2 and tore through the void, attacking Yi Chunfeng and Mo Fengyun respectively. 5 Tao intents. Heaven and Earth Tao intent. Life and Death Tao intent. Confinement when the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment struck down like falling stars. The 3 great fused Tao wills gushed out of Yi Chunfeng's body and transformed into a huge hand that covered the sky. It grabbed the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment and held it in its palm, imprisoning it. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng deduced the 3 Tao intents to the extreme and used the power of the Tao intents to condense the doomsday heavenly punishment. The terrifying Tao intents fluctuated, twisting and tearing the void, forming a destructive storm. After more than an hour, under the refinement of the 3 fused Tao intents deduced by Yi Chunfeng, the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment was condensed to the size of a fist. Then Yi Chunfeng opened his mouth and swallowed the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment, which was enough to destroy a level 5 combat beast emperor. Ignoring the intense pain in his body, he controlled the chaos divine would to suppress the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment. He activated the divine change of 9 transformations and refined the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment into the Shun K meridian at his navel, transforming it into a spiritual pearl. The scene of him swallowing the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment also shocked the people of Misty Mountain. Even Kong Sungchin and the other 2 revealed a look of surprise and admiration. They knew that they couldn't do something like swallowing the doomsday heavenly punishment directly. The power of the heavenly punishment could destroy their bodies. Yi Chunfeng directly swallowed the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment, but Mo Fengyun wasn't as calm as him. His body was destroyed beyond recognition by the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment. White bones were exposed in many places, and his internal organs were severely damaged. He gave it his all, burning his demonic heart to the extreme, deducing Tao intents and racking his brains, but he still couldn't withstand the destruction of the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment. If it wasn't for the heavenly fruits that continuously healed his severely injured body and replenished his energy, he would have been killed by the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment. Damn it, is the difference in strength between him and me really that big? Seeing Yi Chunfeng swallowing the sun-extinguishing heavenly punishment, Mo Fengyun's heart turned cold. He had a feeling that even if he survived the heavenly punishment and broke through to the level 5 combat beast emperor realm, he wouldn't be able to escape. He had already lost control of his life. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 994. Rumble, While Mo Fengyun was distracted by Yi Chanfeng refining the sun, extinguishing heavenly punishment, the power of the heavenly punishment shattered his deduced Tao intent and bombarded his body, almost destroying him. Mo Fengyun opened his mouth. Seeing that the severely injured Mo Fengyun couldn't withstand the baptism of the sun, extinguishing heavenly punishment, and was about to die, a resonant voice rang in his ears, shaking his soul. Instinctively opening his mouth, Yi Chunfeng flicked his finger, and a great Tao pill that contained a powerful Tao flew into his mouth. It transformed into a majestic medicinal power that merged into his body, healing his injuries and accelerating the transformation of his cultivation base. Great Tao Pilamo Fengyun was moved. He didn't expect that Yi Chunfeng would give him such a valuable Great Tao pill at such a crucial moment. Although he knew that Yi Chunfeng had a motive for saving his life at such a crucial moment, he had no choice. If he couldn't survive the sun extinguishing heavenly punishment, he would be killed by the sun extinguishing heavenly punishment. Heavenly demon dance in all directions with the support of the Great Tao Pill's majestic soul power. Mo Fengyun wielded the heavenly demon Tao weapon and constantly slashed out heavenly demon saber shadows to attack the sun extinguishing heavenly punishment, causing cracks to appear on the black doomsday. A large number of Tao patterns merged into his flesh and blood, increasing his comprehension of Tao intent. The black doomsday cracked, and the extermination array patterns that surged out were even more powerful. They engulfed Mo Fengyun like a tide and continued to worsen his injuries. Demon Heart explode. Mo Fengyun made up his mind and took the risk to detonate the power of the Demon Heart. A monstrous demonic aura poured out of his body, tearing his flesh apart and merging into his cells to resist the extermination array patterns. Mo Fengyun's action was very dangerous. If he was careless, he would be doomed eternally. However, with the heavenly fruit and great Tao pills continuous healing, Mo Fengyun managed to survive the most difficult moment and accumulated enough energy. 5th grade combat Beast Emperor breakthrough. Mo Fengyun, who was covered in blood, shouted and controlled the powerful energy in his body. He broke through the bottleneck and became a 5th grade combat Beast Emperor. Heavenly demon dance in all directions. The moment his strength surged, Mo Fengyun gathered his strongest power and slashed out 8 heavenly demon saber shadows, shattering the sun, extinguishing heavenly punishment, and surviving the heavenly punishment. When the sun extinguishing heavenly punishment shattered, it immediately transformed into a large number of Tao patterns that fused into Mo Fengyun's body, elevating his comprehension of Tao will. Blood shadow at the moment of the breakthrough. Mo Fengyun disregarded his injuries and turned into hundreds of blood shadows of various shapes and sizes. He besieged Yi Chunfeng and instantly surrounded him. In the next moment, Mo Fengyun executed the Shadow Tao insight and increased his speed as he flew towards the ethereal immortal domain with the intention of seizing the opportunity to kill his way out of the encirclement. Just as Mo Fengyun was about to break out of the encirclement, a dizzying force beyond his imagination blasted into his sea of soul, causing his sea of soul to tremble and produce a strong sense of dizziness. Mo Fengyun, stop your futile struggles and submit to me obediently. Yi Chunfeng unleashed an astonishing power, shattering the blood shadows that were attacking him. He appeared in front of Mo Fengyun, who had just broken through to the 5th level Beast Emperor realm, and slammed his palm towards his head. Sensing the danger, Mo Fengyun woke up from his dizziness and instinctively defended himself. However, when the demonic light blasted out by Mo Fengyun hit Yi Chunfeng's palm, it shattered inch by inch. The palm that was filled with powerful Tao insight slammed heavily on his head, causing his head to crack. A large amount of blood flowed out from his 7 orifices. After cracking Mo Fengyun's head and knocking him out, Yi Chunfeng immediately brought him into the universe realm and took out the Soul Eater's brain. Through the crack in Mo Fengyun's head, it entered his sea of soul and eroded his consciousness. In a coma, Mo Feng Yun was powerless to resist the invasion of the Soul Eater's brain. Soon, the Soul Eater's brain invaded his brain and took control of him. Whoosh! A basin of ice water was poured on Mo Feng Yun's face, waking him up from his coma. Mo Feng Yun, you will follow me from now on. Although you will lose some freedom, I will give you a broader stage. Yi Feng looked at Mo Feng Yun, who was unwilling but powerless to resist, and said plainly, yes, because of the existence of the Soul Eater's brain, Mo Feng Yun was powerless to resist Yi Feng's thoughts. He nodded helplessly and spat out a word. Mo Feng Yun, it seems that you are still unconvinced. How about this? Let's make a bet. I will stand here and take your strongest move. If you can make me take a step back, I will return your freedom. What do you think? Yi Feng looked at Mo Feng Yun's unwilling expression and said slowly, really? Mo Feng Yun raised his eyebrows and revealed a trace of surprise. After breaking through to the 5th grade combat Beast Emperor realm, Mo Feng Yun's attack power had increased by more than 10 times. He could even shatter annihilating heavenly punishment with his full strength. He was confident that he could make Yi Feng tremble. Since I have said it, I will definitely do it. Yi Feng nodded and said calmly, standing in silence. All right, I hope you will keep your promise. Mo Feng Yun took a deep breath and a sharp light shot out from his eyes. He burned his qi, blood, and bloodline power to the greatest extent to increase his attack power. The terrifying Tao will and demonic qi blended together and transformed into various visions, which were terrifying. Be careful, Mo Feng Yun exhorted. He ignored the injuries on his body and merged the power of the visions into the heavenly demon Tao soldier. He activated the heavenly demon dance in all directions and slashed out 8 times in an instant. The 8 heavenly demon blade shadows overlapped and turned the void upside down. Surging and roaring waves slashed toward Yi Feng, trying to make him move. Divine demon bloodline sensing the great power of Mo Feng Yun's slash, Yi Feng revealed a faint smile. He instantly ignited his bloodline and transformed into the terrifying divine demon body. In the next moment, a large amount of Tao will gushed out from his body and blended together quickly to form a shield of Tao will to resist Mo Feng Yun's heavenly demon dance in all directions. Boom, boom, boom. When the 8 overlapping slashes hit the shield of Tao will, there was a series of explosions. The terrifying power caused the void to tremble violently. Under Mo Feng Yun's all-out attack, the shield of Tao formed by Yi Feng's deduction of Tao was shattered. The terrifying heavenly demon blade shadows slashed toward Yi Feng with shocking power. In the face of the remaining power of the heavenly demon blade shadows, Yi Feng's expression did not change at all. Silently, he stood in place and watched as the heavenly demon blade shadows slashed at his shoulder. Crack, crack. When the 8 overlapping heavenly demon blades slashed at Yi Feng's shoulder, they were immediately shattered by the power of more than 100 million kilograms surging in his body. They quickly disintegrated and finally dissipated in the void. Mo Feng Yun, you should be willing to submit to me now, right? Yi Feng looked at the dumbfounded Mo Feng Yun and said indifferently, I'm willing. Mo Feng Yun did not expect that he would still be unable to defeat Yi Feng after breaking through to the level 5 combat Beast Emperor realm. A strong sense of helplessness arose in his heart. He obediently lowered his noble head and submitted to Yi Feng. These are for you. After Mo Feng Yun submitted to him, Yi Feng was not stingy. He gave him the mid-grade Tao Tool Weeping Blood Demon Blade, the Tao Tool Ghost-Killing Array Diagram, and the low-grade Holy Art Green Heaven Secret Art. Holding the 3 great treasures that Yi Feng gave him, Mo Feng Yun's eyes were wide open and his hands could not help but tremble. When his soul entered the jade slip, it was as if he was struck by lightning. His mind went blank and he stood there in a daze. He did not react for a long time. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 995. Xingfeng, you subdued him? Kong Sung-shin and the others who were waiting at the ethereal immortal realm asked when they saw Mo Fengyun respectfully following Yi Chun-feng to the outside world. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement test well. Mo Fengyun is one of us from now on. Yi Chun-feng nodded and transmitted his voice to Shui Piaoling and the others. He told them why he didn't kill Mo Fengyun and why he kept him by his side. They understood. Well, since Mo Fengyun is willing to submit to you, let's forget about all the grudges. Shui Sanqin glanced at Mo Fengyun, who was standing behind Yi Chun-feng, and said, now that Mo Fengyun had submitted, Ethereal Mountain was no longer a threat. Yi Chun-feng gave Shui Piaoling the pseudo-doubt treasure blood skull avatar that he got from killing Blood Demon. He also gave her hundreds of spiritual herb seeds that he got from the ancient herb garden and asked her to plant them in Ethereal Mountain. If nurtured well, these hundreds of spiritual herbs would be enough to restore the spirituality of Ethereal Mountain and make it a paradise again. Mo Fengyun, come with me. I have something to ask you. After settling Jiang Xingxin and the others down on a cliff with a nice view, Yi Chun-feng had Shui Piaoling and the others start rebuilding. Then, he called Mo Fengyun to a secluded place. Young Master Yi, do you want to ask about Miss Yu's situation? Mo Fengyun asked cleverly. Well, I want to know about Nichan's situation. Is she okay? Yi Chun-feng nodded and said. Back then, Yi Chun-feng and Yu Nikhang made a 3-year promise. However, the situation in Xingluo continent was too complicated. Not only was the Octahead Kingdom involved, but it also involved the inheritance of the divine tribe. Yi Chun-feng had wasted too much time. Therefore, he was very eager to know about Yu Nichan's situation and make a plan. Miss Yu seems to have been locked up in the forbidden area by the Yu family and hasn't shown up for so many years. However, as far as I know, Miss Yu's situation is fine. No one has come to propose marriage for so many years. That's good. Yi Chun-feng let out a long sigh of relief. His heart was finally at ease. As long as Yu Nikhang was fine, all the problems would be solved. However, there's been some unrest in the eastern continent these years. A mysterious force has invaded the eastern continent and cooperated with the East EC Palace to open the abyss of hell in the depths of the EC and seize the opportunities inside. Mo Fengyun, mysterious faction, abyss of hell. Yi Chun-feng frowned slightly. Back when Yi Chun-feng refined the primal chaos divine wood, the words Eastern Continent's Abyss of Hell appeared in the primal chaos divine wood. This made Yi Chun-feng suspect that the Abyss of Hell might be related to his origin. Yi Chun-feng asked, was the mysterious power from the Central Continent's divine nation? From yes. But Isis? Fengyun's yes. Yi Chun-feng pondered and asked, do you know if the Yu family has any contact with people from this? I don't know. The Yu family doesn't trust me. That's why I didn't stay in the Yu family for long. However, with Yu Chan's ambition, she wouldn't waste the opportunity to get in touch with this. Tao of Demons. It seems like I have to hurry to the Yu family to propose marriage. Yi Chun-feng thought to himself, Mo Fengyun, don't mention to anyone that you've submitted to me. Erase part of the soul memories of the West Demon Sect's disciples. I don't want the Yu family to know that I'm coming. Yi Chun-feng ordered, not allowing anyone to refuse. Mo Fengyun nodded and obeyed. After the conversation, Yi Chun-feng found Shui Piaoling and gave her the Class 8 Heavenly Beast, twin-tailed demonic fox, to be her contracted beast. Since the Fu family had joined the Misty Mountain, Fu Qingshan chose to stay and guard the place. He didn't follow Yi Chun-feng to the eastern continent. After the arrangements were made, Yi Chun-feng bade farewell to everyone. Accompanied by Kong Sung-chun, the king of massacre, and the others, he left the Misty Mountain and rushed to the eastern continent to propose marriage. Moon Cliff, one of the Yu family's forbidden grounds. Nikhang, it's been 4 years. Are you still not giving up? He should be dead and won't be coming back. Yu Rao was wearing a white robe with a phoenix pattern on it. She had a head full of silver hair and sharp eyes. She held a dragon-headed walking stick and slowly walked to the side of Yu Nishang, who was sitting cross-legged on the edge of the cliff. She looked at her thin face and slowly said, "If Cheng Feng is dead, I'll accompany him." Yu Nikhang closed her eyes and said calmly, "Nikhang, is it worth it for you to do this for a man? Even if he is not dead, do you think he would dare to come back? If he dares to come back, both your father and your ancestor will kill him." Yu Rao said in a low voice, "Also, there's a great opportunity in front of you, but you don't cherish it. Do you know how many people are jealous of this opportunity? I don't want this opportunity. Whoever wants it can take it." Yu Nikhang said without a trace of emotion. Her calm voice showed that her heart was already dead. Yu Rao's eyes were filled with anger. She said in a low voice, "Nikhang, if you believe that Yi Chanfeng dares to come back, then you should worship Master Qian as your teacher. For Master Qian's sake, I can make the decision to spare Yi Qinfeng's life. Everything will wait until Cheng Feng comes back. Before he comes back, I won't make any decisions." Yu Nikhang said resolutely, "Yu Nikhang, I hope you don't challenge my patience. Otherwise, I promise you will regret it." Yu Rao said angrily when she saw that Yu Nikhang was stubborn. "If he dies, I won't live alone. So, it doesn't matter whether I worship him as my teacher or not, let alone regret it." Yu Nishang slowly opened her eyes. She looked at Yu Rao's gloomy face and indifferently said, "Yu Nikhang, you can't make this decision. For the family, you must worship Master Qian as your teacher." Yu Rao lost her patience and gave an irresistible order. "Ancestor, I am a person. I am not a tool of the Yu family. If you force me again, I would rather kill myself than compromise." Yu Nikhang said firmly. Yu Rao's face twisted in anger. Okay, I won't force you. But Nikhang, I advise you to think about it carefully. Worship Master Qian as your teacher will only bring you benefits. If you anger Master Qian, not only you, but the entire Yu family will be buried with you. Do you want to see that?" Yu Rao saw that Yu Nikhang was threatening her with death and did not dare to anger her anymore. She suppressed her anger and used both the carrot and the stick. After speaking, Yu Rao left the moon cliff angrily. "Cheng Feng, I miss you so much. Where are you? Please be safe." Yu Nikhang knew that Yi Qinfeng was a man of his word. However, 3 years had passed. There was no news of Yi Qinfeng. She could not help but worry that something had happened to Yi Qinfeng. Just as Yu Nikhang stood on the moon cliff and looked into the distance and was lost in thought, a powerful aura came through the void and pressed down on her body. It made it difficult for her to breathe, and her legs trembled. In the next moment, a man in a red robe with a face covered in thick makeup, lips like fire, and long black hair draped over his shoulders. He had a tall and sturdy figure, and his body emitted the fragrance of makeup as he stepped through the air. Seeing this strange man, Yu Nikhang, who was under great pressure, showed disgust in her eyes. However, there was a trace of panic in her heart. She had a bad premonition. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 996. What do you want? Yu Nishang took a deep breath and suppressed the fear in her heart. She looked at the demon wearing a red robe, who was neither a man nor a woman, and asked in a low voice, "Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test, don't be nervous. I don't have any ill intentions. I just want to see my good disciple." The red-robed man's red lips curled up slightly, but he spoke in a strange female voice. "I'm not your disciple, and I don't need you to see me," Yu Nikhang said coldly. "Yu Nikhang, I really don't understand why you're so resistant to becoming my disciple. Do you think I'm not worthy of being your master? Or do you think I'll harm you?" The red-robed man smiled faintly and spoke like a woman. "I don't know if you'll harm me, but you must have a motive for choosing me. Tell me your true motive." Yu Nikhang bit her lips tightly as she endured the pressure. All right, since you want to know, then I'll tell you. I'm interested in the power hidden in your body. If you offer it to me, I can give it to you, give you benefits that the Yu clan can't even imagine." The red-robed man pursed his lips and smiled. His strange appearance made Yu Nikhang feel like vomiting. I don't have any hidden power in my body. You're wrong. Yu Nishang's arms were tightly crossed in front of her. She looked at the red-robed man with a pale face and said vigilantly, "Sai, I'm sincere, but you don't appreciate it. Since that's the case, don't blame me for forcefully taking away the mysterious power in your body." As he spoke, a large amount of will of Tao gushed out of the red-robed man's body, transforming into a huge hand of will of Tao. It grabbed the pale-faced and trembling moon raiment, directly grabbing her in its hand. Let go of me. If you don't let go of me, I'll kill myself immediately." Yu Nikhang struggled as she warned. Blue veins squirmed on her forehead, and she seemed to be in extreme pain. During this time, no one from the Yu family appeared. In order to curry favor with the God Nation's expert, the Yu family chose to sacrifice Yu Nikhang again in exchange for the family's benefits. "Kill yourself. It's not up to you." The red-robed man revealed a strange smile as a large amount of Tao insight broke through the defenses of Yu Nichang's body and bore in her body, directly sealing all the meridians in her body and not giving her a chance to commit suicide. The next moment, a blood-red devouring vortex appeared in the red-robed man's palm. He pressed it against Yu Nichang's head and forcibly stole the mysterious power hidden in her body. "Stop! Stop!" The terrifying devouring power drilled into Yu Nichang's body, making her feel as if her body was being torn apart. It was so painful that she was hovering between life and death. However, the red-robed man did not care. He relied on his powerful strength to forcibly seize the mysterious power within Yu Nichang's body. Right when Yu Nikhang was on the verge of fainting from the pain and her life was hanging by a thread, a strand of terrifying energy suddenly effused out from her body, and it instantly shattered the devouring energy in Tao inside hand before blasting the red-robed man, who wasn't able to dodge in time flying. What a terrible power! The red-robed man's expression changed slightly. His right hand, that was hidden in his sleeve, was torn open by this power. A large amount of blood seeped out, and his entire hand trembled incessantly. After the mysterious power forced the red-robed man back, Yu Nikhang, who was bleeding from the corner of her mouth, suddenly raised her right hand and slapped towards the top of her head. She wanted to commit suicide. "Stop!" The red-robed man sped up and appeared beside Yu Nikhang. He grabbed her hand and did not give her the chance to commit suicide. "Don't be agitated. It's fine if you don't want to take me as your master. I won't force you. You don't have to commit suicide." The red-robed man concealed the greed in his eyes. Several thoughts flashed through his mind. He said coldly, leaving behind the weeping moon raiment. Then, he turned around and left. "Chengfeng, can you tell me what I should do?" Yu Reishang's face was covered in tears as she collapsed on the ground. She allowed the tears to flow down her beautiful face as she spoke helplessly and desperately. The East Sea was the most mysterious and largest ocean among the 4 continents. No one knew how large it was, and no one knew how many fortuitous encounters were hidden in the East Sea because no one had explored the entire sea. Just as Yi Chenfeng's group was hurrying towards Yu Province City, a change occurred in the East Sea. A tremendous sound exploded in the depths of the East Sea, and the terrifying power directly collapsed several thousand kilometers of the sea, turning it into a vacuum zone. A large number of cultivators were killed by this sudden explosion, and countless sea beasts were reduced to ashes. Not even their corpses were left behind. As the explosion in the East Sea grew louder and louder, a spatial crack that stretched for an unknown number of kilometers appeared in the ocean, devouring everything in the space. The news of the upheaval in the East Sea spread like a hurricane across the entire eastern continent, causing a huge uproar. The higher-ups of the Yu family were alarmed and gathered together. According to the information from spies, the restrictions of the abyss of hell had been loosened. It would not be long before the experts of the Kirin Kingdom and the EC Palace will be able to break through the restrictions and enter. The abyss of hell was known as the greatest secret of the eastern continent, and the fortuitous encounters hidden inside were unimaginable. If the Yu family could obtain one of them, the benefits would be unimaginable. Yu Chan, who was wearing a black robe and had a black beard around his mouth, exuding a domineering aura, put down the teacup in his hand and spoke. After nearly 4 years of cultivation, Yu Chan's strength had improved again, reaching the 5th grade Beast Emperor realm. However, he was not satisfied and wanted to break through to the 6th grade Beast Emperor realm. That way, no one in the entire Yu family would be able to shake his position. Whether or not we could enter the abyss of hell would depend on Nichang's attitude. If she was willing to become Lord Qian's disciple, then the Yu family would be able to establish a relationship with the Kirin kingdom and enter the abyss of hell. However, if she insisted on refusing and angered Lord Qian, then we could forget about obtaining any fortuitous encounters in the abyss of hell. Yu Rao, who was holding a dragon-headed walking stick with a gloomy expression, slowly spoke. That's right. Nikhang is the key to entering the abyss of hell. Although Lord Qian did not leave any harsh words before he left, his attitude showed that he was very angry. If the Yu family was unable to quell his anger, everyone should be clear about the consequences. The second master of the Yu family, Yu Shan, who had been secretly competing with Yu Chan, nodded and spoke with ill intentions. Yu Shan is right. Nikhang had already angered Lord Qian once. I do not wish for it to happen a second time. Yu Gu, who was the mainstay of the Yu family and had just broken through to the 6th grade Beast Emperor realm, nodded and said, Yu Chan, Nikhang is her daughter. I will leave this matter to you. Don't worry, ancestor. I will handle Nichang's matter. No matter what, I will definitely make her become Lord Qian's disciple. Yu Chan glanced coldly at Yu Shan and promised. All right. Yu Gu nodded and said, as long as Nikhang agrees to become Lord Qian's disciple, the Yu family is willing to agree to any of her conditions. Just as the Yu family reached a consensus and prepared to persuade Yu Nikhang to become Lord Qian's disciple, the Yu family's old housekeeper walked in and said respectfully, 2 ancestors, Master, there are 4 people outside who claim to be messengers from the Xingluo heavenly city. They brought betrothal gifts to the Yu family and proposed marriage to Miss Nikhang on behalf of their Lord Qian. Proposing marriage to Nikhang? Yu Chan and the others opened their eyes wide, revealing a surprised expression. What was the origin of the Xingluo heavenly city? Who was the Lord Qian? How did he know about Nikhang? Yu Chan had never been to the Xingluo continent, so he didn't know about the origin of the Xingluo heavenly city. However, regarding this marriage proposal, he felt a trace of suspicion, and Yi Chunfeng's figure involuntarily appeared in his mind. After letting them in, Yu Gu pondered for a while and said, I would like to see who this Xingluo heavenly city lord is. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click the save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 997. Yes, the person who came was not Yi Chenfeng. Yu Chan and the others frowned slightly as they looked at the king of massacre, who was dressed in long black robes. His face was cold as if it had been carved by a knife, and he unconsciously exuded a sharp aura as he walked. Jiang Xingqian and the other 2 had cold and arrogant expressions as they followed behind him. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement test. Although the king of massacre and the other 3 had deliberately concealed their strength, Yu Gu, Yu Chan, and the others felt a dangerous aura when they first saw them. The king of massacre's group of 4 had just walked into the luxurious and magnificent main hall when Yu Gu's turbid eyes shot out resplendent starlight. A powerful aura was emitted from his body, like a towering mountain range, oppressing the 4 of them. Humph! Being oppressed by Yu Gu's aura, Bai Feng, who was standing on the far left, snorted coldly. An even more terrifying aura was emitted from his body, shattering the oppressing aura like an avalanche. Like a surging tide, it bombarded Yu Gu, whose expression changed greatly. Kacha! Being attacked by Bai Feng's aura, the ancient wooden chair Yu Gu was sitting on instantly turned into dust. Although he resisted this terrifying aura with his strength, the blood and qi in his body started to boil. Just as he was shocked by Bai Feng's strength, Kong Sungqian and Zheng Yue simultaneously released their powerful auras, oppressing Yugu, causing him to feel suffocated in an instant. 3 level 6 beast emperors feeling the auras released by Baifeng and the other two. Yugu's heart was in turmoil. He did not expect Kong Sungqin and the other two to be level 6 beast emperors like him, and even stronger than him. Yu family head. Is this how the Yu family treats their guests? The King of Massacre looked coldly at Yu Chan, whose expression was uncertain, and questioned in a low voice. Please don't misunderstand. We don't mean any harm. The old ancestor is a martial fanatic. When he sees experts of the same realm, he likes to compete with them. Yu Chan instantly returned to normal and explained softly. Not bad. Level 6 beast emperors are rare in the eastern continent, and the strength of the three of you is truly admirable. Several thoughts flashed through Yu Gu's mind as he found himself a way out. That's right, I don't know who the city lord is, and how does he know about Nick Hang? Seeing Kong Sungqin, Zheng Biyue retracted her aura. Yu Chan let out a sigh of relief and changed the topic. If you agree to our city lord's proposal of marriage, you will naturally be able to see our city lord. As for how they met, let's wait for our city lord to personally tell us. The King of Massacre said in a tone that was neither arrogant nor humble. Proposing marriage is a very important matter. Can we discuss it first? Yu Chan quickly exchanged a glance with Yugu and asked politely. Okay, the King of Massacre nodded and said, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and arrange seats for our guests. Don't neglect our guests. Yu Chan ordered loudly. After the King of Massacre and the other three were seated and tea was served, Yu Chan transmitted her voice to Yugu and Yu Rao, two old ancestors. Do you think the city lord of Xingluo Sky City is Yi Chenfeng? It shouldn't be. Yugu thought for a while and said, with that Yi Chenfeng's strength, there's no way he could tame 3 level 6 beast emperors. It's even more impossible for him to become the city lord of Xingluo Sky City. That's right. At first, I also suspected that the city lord of Xingluo Sky City was Yi Chenfeng. But now, it seems like it's almost impossible. The power of Xingluo Sky City is probably even more terrifying than the EC Palace. Yu Rao nodded and agreed. But the appearance of these 4 people was too strange. Moreover, Niking hadn't shown her face in the outside world for the past few years. How did the city lord of Xingluo Sky City know her? Yu Chan transmitted her voice with a frown. Although Niking hadn't left the Yu family for the past few years, she had been training outside. Moreover, she had followed Yi Chenfeng overseas once. The city lord of Xingluo Sky City was most likely an overseas power. Perhaps they had met a few years ago. Yu Gu analyzed. Old ancestor, what do you think we should do? If we agree to the city lord of Xingluo Sky City's marriage proposal, we will definitely become enemies with Lord Qian. But if we don't agree, I'm afraid they won't let it go either. Yu Chan said with some difficulty. Yu Chan, it's still too early for us to consider these things. Everything still depends on Ni Chang's attitude. Yu Gu transmitted his voice. Tell me honestly, how confident are you in persuading Niking to accept Lord Qian as her master? At most 10%, or even lower. Yu Chan said with some helplessness. Therefore, my Yu family wanting to get close to the Kirin kingdom was just wishful thinking. However, the appearance of the city lord of Xingluo Sky City gave my Yu family hope to rise again. If my Yu family can form a marriage alliance with them and develop our overseas power, it might be a good opportunity for us. Yu Gu said cunningly. But I'm afraid that Niking will still refuse. Thinking about Ni Chang's attitude, Yu Chan felt a headache and annoyance. How do you know if you don't try? Maybe under the pressure from Lord Qian, Niking will compromise. Yu Rao said, okay, then let's try. Because she rejected the idea that the city lord of Xingluo Sky City was Yi Chenfeng, Yu Chan decided to test Ni Chang's attitude. If she could form a relationship with the city lord of Xingluo Sky City, it would be a good choice. For distinguished guests, I just discussed with the 2 old ancestors. We do hope to form a marriage alliance with your city, but my daughter is a bit stubborn, so I have to ask for her opinion first. Yu Chan glanced at the King of Massacre and the others who were drinking tea in silence. Of course, but before that, Yu family's head should take a look at our betrothal gifts. As he spoke, The king of massacre took out the things he had prepared to propose marriage from his universe ring. Looking at the 14 Tao artifacts floating in front of the king of massacre, the entire hall was filled with gasps. Almost everyone's gaze was attracted to them. My Xingluo Sky City's betrothal gifts are 1 mid-grade Tao artifact, 3 low-grade Tao artifacts, 10 pseudo-Tao artifacts, 3 Tao pills, and 2 high-grade Tao jade slips. Looking at the burning gazes of the crowd, the king of massacre slowly said, "What a big deal." After seeing the betrothal gifts that the king of massacre took out, Yugu, Yuchan, and the others were really moved. Compared to the betrothal gifts that the East Sea Palace brought, they could only be described as shabby. This also allowed them to see that Xingluo Sky City's strength and foundation definitely surpassed the East Sea Palace's. If Miss Nikhang agrees to our city lord's proposal, these gifts will be yours. The king of massacre looked at Yuchan's burning gaze and said temptingly, "Don't worry, I will do my best to persuade Nikhang." Yuchan took a deep breath and suppressed the excitement in her heart as she promised. He did not doubt that if he could obtain these betrothal gifts, his strength would increase greatly. He would also be able to use the Tao pills to build the most solid foundation and prepare to break through to Class 6 Combat Beast Emperor. "All right, you family head, before we came here, our city lord asked me to pass this jade slip to Miss Nikhang. Maybe she will agree to our city lord's proposal." The king of massacre took out another jade slip and passed it to Yuchan. "Okay, I will pass it to Nikhang." Yuchan nodded and said, "Many thanks. These 5 pseudo-Tao pills will be a gift to the Yu family head for your hard work. We'll be back in 3 days. I hope you won't disappoint our city lord." The king of massacre kept the betrothal gifts and left behind the 5 pseudo-Tao pills. Yuchan and the others personally sent him off as he left the Yu family residence. Mobile reading website, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 998. Forefather, what is the background of Xingluo Heaven City? Watermark advertisement, test back in the hall, Yuchan asked with jealousy. If Yuchan were to get close to Xingluo Heaven City, then he would have no chance of becoming the head of the Yu family. He might even be killed by Yuchan. Xingluo Heaven City should be a superpower in the sea. Judging from their power and wealth, they should be more powerful than the East Sea Palace. Yugu took a sip of the tea filled with spiritual energy and said slowly, "Forefather, I feel that their appearance is too sudden. Something is wrong. If we marry Xingluo Heaven City, we will offend Master Qian. Please reconsider." Yuchan objected. "Yuchan, at this moment, put away your petty thoughts. I have already made my decision. I don't need you to change it." Yugu glared at Yuchan angrily and said, "Okay, Yuchan stays. Everyone else can go back." "Forefather, should we look at the contents of this jade slip?" After Yuchan and the others left, Yuchan looked at the palm-sized jade slip in her hand and asked, "Give me the jade slip. I want to see who the Castellan of Xingluo Heaven City is." Yugu took the jade slip and released his powerful soul into the jade slip. He wanted to see the contents of the jade slip. Buzz. As soon as Yugu's soul entered the jade slip, he felt a strong dizziness coming from the jade slip. It shook his soul. Then, the soul restriction in the jade slip exploded with a shocking power. It fought fiercely with Yugu's soul. About half an incense stick of time later, Yugu, whose forehead was dripping with sweat, paid the price of injuring his soul to break the spell on the jade slip. He released his soul and penetrated it, discovering that the jade slip only contained a set of basic body-tempering soul spells. Besides that, there was no other information. "Forefather, are you okay?" Seeing the blood flowing out of Yugu's 7 orifices, Yuchan's heart tightened. She quickly stepped forward and asked, "What a terrifying restriction. This person's soul is unimaginably strong, far stronger than mine." Yugu took a deep breath and wiped away the blood flowing out from his 7 orifices. He said with lingering fear, If that's the case, Xingluo Sky City Lord is also a level 6 Beast Emperor. Yuchan asked in surprise. If Xingluo, Sky City Lord, could really become his son-in-law, then he would be able to obtain unimaginable benefits from him. Breaking through to level 6 Beast Emperor was just around the corner. Yugu pondered for a moment and said, if it was even higher, wouldn't that mean that Yu Chan's eyes widened and she felt like she was about to faint from surprise? Yu Chan, don't be happy too early. Everything depends on Ni Chang's attitude. If she doesn't agree, not only will we not be able to rely on Xingluo Sky City's big tree, we might even offend them. Yugu looked at Yu Chan, who couldn't hide her joy, and said in a low voice, yes, I will try my best to persuade Nikhang. When the time comes, I will need the cooperation of the two forefathers. Yu Chan revealed a smile and discussed with Yugu how to persuade Yu Nikhang. A cool breeze blew past, causing Yu Nichang's long black hair to flutter. She looked as if she had lost her soul. She stared blankly into the distance, lost in endless thoughts. Suddenly, the sound of light footsteps entered her ears, pulling her back from her thoughts. Don't try to persuade me. Even if I die, I won't take that transvestite as my master. Yu Nikhang saw Yu Chan and the other two arrive. Her dead eyes didn't show any reaction. Her voice was filled with determination. Nikhang, we know that Qian Huahua doesn't have good intentions in taking you as his disciple. However, the Kirin Kingdom is too powerful. Our Yu family can't contend against them, so we have no choice but to sacrifice you. However, since you don't agree, then father won't force you. In order to make Qian Huahua give up, we have arranged a marriage for you. As long as you marry him, Qian Huahua will naturally give up. Our Yu family's crisis will also be resolved. Yu Chan revealed a loving smile and said, you can give up. Apart from Qingfeng, I won't marry anyone else. Yu Nikhang refused without hesitation. Nikhang, why are you still so stubborn? Yu Chan said helplessly. Yi Qingfeng is dead. He won't come back. If you don't marry, you won't be able to escape from Qian Huahua's evil hands. Yes, we are doing this for your own good. The marriage we arranged for you is from overseas. As long as you marry him, Qian Huahua won't be able to do anything to you even if he has 3 heads and 6 arms. Yu Rao echoed from the side. Overseas, as soon as Yu Rao's voice fell, Yu Nishang's lifeless eyes shone with a bright light. Ripples appeared in her tranquil heart. Well, you should know that person. He calls himself the Castellan of Xingluo Sky City. Yugu nodded and said, this is the jade scroll he gave you. Take a look. Taking the jade scroll from Yugu, Yu Nichang's hands trembled. Many thoughts flashed through her mind. There was excitement, hesitation, expectation, and fear. She vaguely felt that the Castellan of Xingluo Sky City could be Yi Qingfeng, but she was afraid that it wasn't. When she released her soul into the Jade Scroll and found that it was the 6 Meridian God Gang cultivation method, her heart was filled with excitement. Large amounts of tears welled up in her eyes. He's back. He's really back. He's fine. My wait wasn't in vain. I've finally found him. At this moment, Yu Nikhang felt like she was in a dream. She had the urge to scream and vent her frustration. But in order to not let Yugu and the others see through her, Yu Nikhang suppressed the urge in her heart and tried to calm herself down. Nikhang, do you really know him? Where did he come from? What's his background? Although Yu Nikhang tried to hide it, the experienced Yugu and the others still saw through her. Yu Chan asked in a low voice. He's my friend overseas. I agree to this marriage. Yu Nikhang showed a smile that had disappeared for a long time and asked, ha, my good daughter, you're finally thinking about us. Seeing Yu Nikhang agree, Yu Chan's hanging heart finally settled down. In his opinion, his daughter's happiness was far less than the betrothal gift from the King of Murder. As long as Yu Nikhang agreed to marry, everything else was not a problem. Okay, Nikhang, go back with father and prepare. Father will contact them now and confirm the date of your marriage. This time, I'll definitely marry off in a grand manner. To avoid any more accidents, Yugu wanted to confirm this marriage as soon as possible and get the betrothal gift. Yu Nikhang nodded and adjusted her state of mind. She left Mooncliff, where she had been sitting for almost 4 years, and returned to the Yu family to wait for Yi Chanfeng to come and ask for her hand in marriage. Young Master Yi, the Yu family's housekeeper is here and says that the Yu family has agreed to your marriage proposal. The king of murder came to Yi Chunfeng's cultivation room and said in a low voice, "Tell him that I will personally bring the betrothal gift to the Yu family tomorrow morning to ask for their hand in marriage and discuss the date of the marriage. At that time, I want to see Nick Hang." Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and said. The king of murder nodded. "Yu family, I hope that you won't do anything overboard tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll definitely make you regret it." Yi Chunfeng's deep eyes shone with a light that was sharper than a knife as he muttered to himself. 4 years ago, he ran away from the Yu family like a stray dog. This time, he had turned into a ferocious tiger. He bared his long fangs and announced his return to everyone. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 999. Early in the morning, the moon hadn't set yet, and the eastern sky was hazy. Suddenly, a ray of dawn revealed itself from the hazy sky and illuminated the entire earth. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test let's go to the Yu family residence. After bathing and changing into a clean set of clothes, Yi Chunfeng was accompanied by Kong Sungqun and the others. They stepped on the first rays of the morning sun and headed towards the Yu family's residence at the center of Moon State City. Because Yi Chunfeng intentionally concealed his true identity, the Yu family spies hidden in the city were unable to see through his appearance under the interference of a large amount of illusion Dao patterns. Soon enough, Yi Chunfeng and the others arrived outside the Yu family's residence. Yu Chan and the others who received the news had been waiting for them outside the Yu family's residence since a long time ago. Ni Chan, when he saw Yu Nick Hang standing by Yu Chan's side, Yi Chunfeng's expressionless face revealed a trace of excitement, and the tenderness in his eyes seemed to be able to melt one's heart. She was wearing a flower-patterned white pleated dress with a smoky silk scarf tied around her waist. She had a tall and graceful figure, and her brows were like crescent moons, and her eyes were like a myriad of stars. Chunfeng. Even though the illusion Dao intent concealed Yi Chunfeng's true appearance, Yu Nikhang was still able to recognize Yi Chunfeng at first glance. Her body stiffened, and large amounts of tears streaked down her absolutely beautiful face. At this moment, Yu Nikhang forgot the time, forgot the location, and forgot everything. She disregarded everything and ran over. Under the astonished gazes of Yu Chan and the others, she threw herself into Yi Chunfeng's embrace and hugged him tightly, as if she wanted to fuse herself into his body. "Nikhang, I'm back." Yi Chunfeng gently embraced Yu Nichang's soft body and leaned his head beside her ear as he spoke softly. "Chunfeng, I miss you. I miss you so much." Yu Nikhang buried her head in Yi Chunfeng's strong chest and felt the familiar scent and warmth from his body. Her tears fell uncontrollably. "I miss you too. From now on, we will never be apart," Yi Chunfeng promised softly. Just like that, the two of them leaned on each other tightly. At this moment, their hearts were also fused together, and there was no distinction between them. This is this. When they saw the scene before them, Yugu, Yu Chan, and the others were stunned, and they looked at Yi Chunfeng in unison as they wanted to see through the illusory Dao insight and see his true identity clearly. Meanwhile, Yi Chunfeng dispersed the illusory Dao insight and revealed his true appearance. "Yi Chunfeng, it's really him. How could it possibly be him?" When they saw Yi Chunfeng's true appearance, Yu Chan and the others felt as if they were struck by a bolt from the blue, and their bodies trembled as all of them were dumbstruck. Subsequently, Yu Chan felt as if he'd been played, and flames of rage that shot into the sky erupted from his body. "Yi Chunfeng, how audacious of you to actually dare play tricks on us. I won't forgive you today." As he spoke, Yu Chan circulated the Heaven Dance devil technique at high speeds, causing a devil shadow that was over 30 m tall to float up into appearance from his body, and it carried boundless devilish chi as it attacked Yi Chenfeng. Chenfeng, watch out! Yu Nikhang never expected that Yu Chan would suddenly make a move, and her heart constricted as she intended to stand before Yi Chenfeng and help him resist the attack of the Devil Shadow. Don't be afraid, your father can't hurt me. Yi Chenfeng revealed a proud and aloof smile as he gently extended a finger, and it exploded with a force of millions of kilograms. Like a pillar that supported the heavens, his finger pointed towards the devil shadow that was overflowing with devilish qi. Qi. The heaven dance devil shadow was torn apart like a piece of cloth by Yi Chenfeng's finger. It disappeared into the void. What? Everyone in the Yu family was stunned when they saw Yi Chenfeng tear apart the heaven dance devil shadow with a single finger. Even Yu Gu and Yu Rao revealed shocked expressions. They were shocked by Yi Chenfeng's attack power. Yu family head, today is the big day of my engagement with Nikhang. I don't want to see blood, and I don't want to kill anyone. I hope you won't force me. Yi Chenfeng looked at Yu Chan, whose expression had changed drastically, and spoke in an overbearing manner. What arrogance! Yu Chan flew into a rage out of humiliation and said, "Let me tell you, don't you ever think of stepping into the Yu family." As soon as Yu Chan's words fell, the King of Slaughter and the other three all released their powerful auras, locking onto Yu Chan. The terrifying auras caused her legs to tremble, and even breathing became difficult. Roar! Just as the battle was about to erupt, two piercing dragon roars rang out from within the Yu family mansion. A two-headed, 500-meter-long level 9 heavenly beast black Jiao dragon flew out of the Yu family mansion, roaring furiously at Yi Chenfeng and the others. Blue sky seal Yi Chenfeng's pupils shrank, and he circulated the green sky secret art at high speed. A large amount of heavenly energy gathered, and a green sky seal with innate Tao patterns flew out of Yi Chenfeng's body, pressing down on the two-headed black Jiao dragon like a mountain. As Yi Chenfeng's mastery of the green sky secret art grew deeper and deeper, the power of the blue sky seal grew stronger and stronger. When the terrifying blue sky seal smashed into the two-headed black Jiao dragon, it broke through its tough dragon scales and smashed its body into a bloody mess. Tao of two extremes of life and death Yi Chenfeng pushed the Tao of life and death to the extreme and struck out with the Tao of life and death Tao disc. It tore through the void above the Yu family mansion and smashed into the two-headed black Jiao dragon, sending its huge body flying, smashing into several ancient Yu family buildings. In just 3 years, how did this Yi Chenfeng's strength become so strong? Is he really human? After witnessing the scene of Yi Chenfeng heavily injuring the level 9 heavenly beast, the two-headed black Jiao dragon, Yu Gu and the others were so shocked that their eyeballs almost fell out. They couldn't imagine how Yi Chenfeng had cultivated for the past 3 years. It could be said that Yi Chenfeng's cultivation speed had exceeded their imagination, and his strength had shocked everyone present, causing their hearts to tremble. Yu Chan, let me ask you one last time. Do you want to marry Nikhang to me obediently, or do you want to fight to the death with me? Relying on his absolute strength to shock everyone present, Yi Chenfeng looked at Yu Chan, who was enduring the pressure and whose face was flushed red, and questioned coldly. Yi Chenfeng, are you really the city lord of Xingluo Heaven City? After witnessing Yi Chenfeng's strength and seeing the current situation, Yu Gu asked softly. That's right, I am the city lord of Xingluo Heaven City. Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, if I agree to marry Nikhang to you, all the betrothal gifts that you took out previously, Yi Chenfeng interrupted Yu Gu, saying in a rich and overbearing manner, Old ancestor, no. Seeing that Yu Gu was about to compromise, Yu Chan panicked. If she really married Yu Nikhang to Yi Chenfeng, he would become the laughingstock of the entire Eastern continent. Yu Chan, do you think your face is more important than your life? Do you believe that we will remove your Yu family from the entire Eastern continent? The king of massacre, dressed in black robes and emanating a thick killing intent, threatened coldly. You, do you think we can't do it? Looking at Yu Chan's gloomy face, the king of massacre said without holding back, I will make the decision for this matter. Yi Chenfeng, My Yu clan has seen your sincerity and your feelings for Enai Shang. I agree to let Enai Shang marry you. However, if I marry Nick Hang to you, my Yu family will definitely become enemies with the Kirin kingdom. Therefore, after you marry Nick Hang, we will need your protection. The cunning Yu Gu said. Sure. Although Yi Chun Feng didn't like the Yu family, Yu Chan, and Yu Gu, the Yu family was still Yu Nichan's home. For the sake of Yu Nick Hang, he didn't want to become enemies with the Yu family, nor did he want anything to happen to the Yu family. Therefore, he agreed without hesitation. Ching Feng, thank you. Yu Nick Hang was touched when she saw Yi Chun Feng making such a sacrifice for her. As long as I can marry you, I will agree to any conditions. Yi Chun Feng smiled and said tenderly, All right, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and welcome the new son-in-law. Yu Gu seemed to have forgotten about the previous unpleasantness. He immediately ordered people to invite Yi Chun Feng and the others to the Yu family's old residence. The heaven-made couple would finally be together. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1000. The Yu family compromised, and Yi Chun Feng and Yu Nichan's marriage was no longer obstructed. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement test. Under the personal supervision of Yu Gu, Yi Chun Feng and Yu Nichan's wedding was set for 3 days later. Perhaps it was to curry favor with Yi Chun Feng, but the Yu clan attached great importance to the marriage between the two of them. The entire Yu clan's old mansion was decorated. The old mansion was filled with beautiful spirit flowers, and their fragrance filled the air. Long red ribbons were wrapped around the walls and eaves, and large red lanterns were hung high up. The entire Yu family was filled with a joyous atmosphere. For a moment, the entire Moon Province city was bustling with noise and excitement. Cultivators came in an endless stream to congratulate them. The Heaven's Sword Palace Master came to congratulate them. The 9 Nether Mountain Grand Elder came to congratulate them. The Cold Moon Palace Master came to congratulate them. When the wedding day of Yi Chun Feng and Yu Nick Hang arrived, except for the East Sea Palace, almost all the forces in the Eastern Continent came to congratulate them. Brother Ching Feng, congratulations on getting a beauty. Wearing a white robe, Jian Chun and Jian Mali, who had broken through to the rank 2 Beast Emperor realm, came to Yi Chun Feng's side and congratulated him softly. Thank you. When will we drink your wedding wine? Looking at his good brother, Yi Chun Feng felt exceptionally happy as he said this with a smile. Soon. Jian Chun glanced at Jian Mali's pretty face and said with a face full of happiness, Brother Yi, I heard that you have the strength to fight a rank 6 Beast Emperor. Thinking of the rumors, Jian Mali could not believe that his strength had grown to such an extent. Why? Do you still want to have a match with me? Yi Chun Feng knew that Jian Mali was a battle maniac, so he said half-jokingly, Don't mess around, Lier. Even if you and I join hands now, I'm afraid we won't be Chun Feng's match. Although Yi Chun Feng deliberately concealed his aura, Jian Chun could feel a terrifying power from him. The bride had arrived. As more and more guests arrived, the Yu family's mansion became more and more lively. The beautiful Yu Nick Hang, who wore a phoenix coronet and a red robe, appeared accompanied by 2 pretty maids. The auspicious hour had arrived, and the wedding ceremony began. Under the auspices of a white-haired old man, Yi Chun Feng and Yu Nick Hang went through the complicated wedding ceremony and finally became a couple. The atmosphere in the mansion reached its peak at this moment. How dare you, family? Who was the one who allowed her to get married? The Yu's favors names his name. Yu's names his. The tall and sturdy Qian Huahua appeared in the sky above the Yu family's old residence, accompanied by 2 experts from the Qilin Divine Nation. She had painted her nails red and had heavy makeup on her face. The lively Yu family instantly quieted down because of their appearance. There was a hint of depression in the quiet atmosphere. Lord Qian Huahua, why are you here? Yu Gu had long expected that Qian Huahua would come. He quickly walked forward and asked with a face full of smiles, If I don't come, you will marry off my good disciple. Qian Huahua said with an unkind expression. He looked at Yi Qinfeng with a murderous look in his eyes. I'm not your disciple. I don't need you to ask who I want to marry. Yu Nikhang retorted loudly as she glared at Qian Huahua with hatred. Humph. None of the people I set my eyes on can escape from my grasp. Qian Huahua coldly snorted and said domineeringly, Damn transvestite, what a big tone. Today, I want to see who can force Nikhang. Yi Qinfeng narrowed his eyes and stood in front of Yu Nikhang. He stared coldly at the arrogant and overbearing Qian Huahua and said arrogantly, Damn it, you're looking for trouble. Qian Huahua hated being called a transvestite the most. He was immediately enraged. A surge of demonic qi was emitted from his body and locked onto Yi Qinfeng. Yi Qinfeng laughed coldly and said, You said you don't want to be a perfectly good man, but you want to be a woman. If I were your father, I would strangle you to death when you were born so that you won't make a fool of yourself. Damn you, I'll grind your bones to dust. Qian Huahua was so angry that his entire body was trembling. The rolling demonic energy transformed into a ferocious wolf head, howling as it bit towards Yi Qinfeng. Seniors, you don't need to do anything. Leave him to me. Although Qian Huahua came from the Kirin Kingdom, and his strength was far superior to an ordinary level 6 beast emperor, Yi Qinfeng was not afraid at all. He intended to use him as an example to intimidate everyone present. Bang! Yi Qinfeng quickly threw out a punch. Rolling Dao intent and tens of millions of gene of strength merged together. Like a dazzling meteor, the punch smashed the demonic Qi wolf head into pieces. Damn transvestite, show me your true strength. Otherwise, next year today will be your doomsday. Yi Qinfeng put his hands behind his back and looked at Qian Huahua, whose face was distorted with anger, and said domineeringly, Stinking brat, I swear I'll grind your bones to dust. Qian Huahua was mad with anger. He instantly ignited his demonic qi bloodline and turned into a terrifying demonic wolf body, attacking Yi Qinfeng. Qinfeng, be careful. Yu Nikhang was well aware of Qian Huahua's strength. Seeing him attacking madly, she immediately became nervous. Don't worry, he's just a transvestite. Watch me crush him to death. Yi Qinfeng revealed a confident smile. He ignited his Empyrean bloodline and channeled the rolling heavenly force into his body, rapidly increasing his strength. 100 wolves attacked Qian Huahua continued to deduce powerful Dao intent. In an instant, he turned into hundreds of black wolves and attacked Yi Qinfeng in the void. The wolves howled and attacked Yi Qinfeng, wanting to tear him apart and kill him. Purple beginning holy thunder, extinguish. When the hundreds of black wolves approached, a deafening sound of thunder resounded from Yi Qinfeng's body. Streaks of purple beginning holy thunder gushed out from his body, carrying the power to destroy everything. It shattered the black wolves and directly destroyed Qian Huahua's attack. Holy thunder, you've subdued a type of holy thunder. Qian Huahua felt the destructive power from the purple beginning holy thunder. He raised his brows and guessed the grade of the purple beginning holy thunder. His heavily made-up face revealed a look of disbelief. While he was still in shock, Yi Qinfeng suddenly approached with sword steps. The extremely sharp sword diagram shot out a large number of sword Dao patterns and attacked Qian Huahua. Blue Sky Seal while Qian Huahua was forcefully resisting the sword Dao pattern attack. Yi Qinfeng quickly formed seals with both hands. The rolling heavenly force and the Dao intent fused together, forming a mountain-like green palm print. It blasted towards Qian Huahua at close range. Caught off guard, Qian Huahua could only defend with all his strength. However, the Blue Sky Seal's attack power was too terrifying. The shocking attack shattered Qian Huahua's defense like breaking dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. It exploded with shocking power and blasted on his body, causing his blood to churn. He was forced to retreat. Boundless Heavenly Sword after gaining the upper hand with one strike. Yi Qinfeng immediately took out the Emperor's Celestial Sword and slashed out a strike that was as vast as the Great Tao. The terrifying will of the Tao and the power of the heavens gathered together and directly split the void, slashing Qianhua down to the ground from midair. Courting death, Qianhua was injured. His two followers narrowed their eyes and attacked Yi Chenfeng at the same time, not giving him the chance to continue attacking Qianhua. Heavenly Dao disc Yi Chenfeng's hands moved like flowing water. The Dao intent and heavenly force that he had deduced to the extreme quickly condensed and turned into two heavenly Dao discs. It was like two huge spatial whirlpools that appeared out of nowhere, engulfing the Kirin Kingdom's experts, whose expressions changed greatly. Peng Peng, after being attacked by Yi Chenfeng's heavenly Dao disc, the attacks of the two Kirin Kingdom's experts, who were level 5 combat beast emperors, were immediately broken. Their bodies exploded and turned into two clouds of blood mist, dying on the spot. The scene of Yi Chenfeng exploding the two Kirin Kingdom's experts had shocked everyone present. The atmosphere in the Yu family became even more oppressive, making it hard for people to breathe. To commemorate, everyone, add Yun Lei's official WeChat account. If there are 1,000 users, I will add a new chapter. Official account address. YLTY83 mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1001. Crazy. Was Yi Chenfeng crazy? He actually killed people from the Kirin Kingdom. Did he not want to live anymore? The Yu family was finished. If the Kirin Kingdom blamed him, the Yu family would also be implicated. Who would have thought that the Yu family's eldest daughter's wedding would cause another unforeseen event? Things were getting more and more lively. After witnessing the scene of Yi Chenfeng killing two experts from the Kirin Kingdom, the experts from the various major powers who had come to congratulate him began to discuss spiritedly. Many of them revealed shocked expressions, while others rejoiced in Yi Chenfeng's misfortune. Ancestor, should we step in and stop him? Yu Chan also did not expect that Yi Chenfeng would be so crazy as to kill experts from the Kirin Kingdom in front of everyone. Her expression became gloomy. Stop? How can we stop him? Can't you see that Yi Chenfeng is doing this on purpose? He is deliberately causing our relationship with the Kirin Kingdom to worsen, leaving us with no path of retreat. Then, he will tie our Yu family to his warship. The crafty old fox Yugu frowned and said, "Then what should we do? Do we really have to give up on our tens of thousands of years of foundation and follow Yi Chenfeng overseas? If that's the case, wouldn't our Yu family become his property?" Yu Chan felt as if the situation had gone out of control, and her hatred for Yi Chenfeng grew even more. AI, we can't afford to offend the Kirin Kingdom, and we can't afford to offend Yi Chenfeng either. The only thing we can do now is wait and see how the situation develops. Yugu sighed helplessly. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect that Yi Chenfeng would grow to such an extent in just 3 short years. He had directly forced the Yu family into a dead end. In his heart, he was constantly making choices. He was deciding the fate of the Yu family. "Boy, I don't care who you are, I'm going to kill you." As an expert of the Kirin Kingdom, Qianhua had never suffered such humiliation before. He angrily screamed and flew out of the crater that was full of cracks. He held a low-grade Taoist spear in his hand and pierced it towards Yi Chenfeng. Sword finger Yi Chenfeng fused the sword soul into his right index finger, and a sword light sputtered out. The resplendent sword light dyed the air and changed the color of the sword light. Then his finger pointed at the incomparably sharp spear point. Crack! Under the attack of Yi Chenfeng's finger, the spear tip of the low-grade Dao artifact immediately cracked. Qianhua felt a force beyond his imagination pass through the spear and into his arm, causing his arm to feel numb. What? Was his finger a mid-grade Dao artifact? Qianhua's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that Yi Chenfeng's finger had broken his low-grade Dao artifact spear. Just as he was about to withdraw his spear, Yi Chenfeng exerted his strength again. The terrifying finger force directly crushed the spear point. Then, like a cold star, it pointed at Qianhua's chest. Sensing the crisis, Qian Huahua abandoned the broken spear and continuously blasted out a terrifying Dao intent. It evolved into various attack forms. Only then did he resist Yi Chunfeng's finger attack. Damn transvestite, your strength is only SOSO. Yi Chunfeng looked at Qian Huahua, whose face was gloomy and uncertain, and said in a mocking tone, "Boy, today I'll let you see the Kirin Kingdom's inherited magical power." Qian Huahua's eyes spurted out thick flames. He used his final trump card. The power of his bloodline was completely ignited. His strong body constantly mutated and transformed into a three-headed and six-armed man. In each of his 6 arms, there was a low-grade Dao artifact with extraordinary power. God, the Kirin Kingdom actually inherited such a magical power. It's really amazing. The heritage of the Divine Kingdom was too terrifying. Qian Huahua's fighting strength in this form would probably soar several times. Seeing the Qian Huahua's three-headed and six-armed form, the quiet banquet hall was filled with gasps. The magical power of the three-headed and six-armed man shocked everyone. The three-headed and six-armed man was a good magical power. Yi Chunfeng had a strong interest in the three-headed and six-armed man. If he had the chance, he would like to learn this magical power. Die! Qian Huahua shouted. His 6 thick arms danced at the same time. He waved 6 low-grade Dao artifacts and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Cosmos Sword Formation with a thought. Yi Chunfeng shot out 18 Cosmos swords from his body. They quickly condensed into a sword formation and faced the three-headed and six-armed Qian Huahua. So many Dao artifacts. Where did Yi Chunfeng get all these Dao artifacts? Yu Gu, Yu Chan, and the others were envious when they saw Yi Chunfeng summon 18 Dao swords. There were even 2 mid-grade Dao artifacts among them. They felt that even the Kirin Kingdom's Qian Huahua's heritage was not as deep as Yi Chunfeng's. Sword Soul. Amplification. As Yi Chunfeng controlled the Cosmos Sword Formation to attack fiercely, he merged his Sword Soul into the sword formation. Suddenly, a sword diagram appeared and amplified the attack power of the Cosmos Sword Formation. It instantly suppressed Qian Huahua's fierce attacks. Sword Dao Diagram. What kind of inheritance did Yi Chunfeng obtain? Not only was his attack power ridiculously strong, but he was also able to cultivate his Dao intent to such an extent. Ancestor, who do you think is more valuable, Yi Chunfeng or the Kirin Kingdom? After seeing Yi Chunfeng continuously reveal his trump cards, Yu Chan's heart was continuously attacked. She sent a voice transmission to Yu Gu, who had a gloomy expression. If Yi Chunfeng was given enough time and space to grow, his future achievements would be limitless. He would even have a chance to ascend to the heaven region. However, it was hard to say if he had a bad relationship with the Kirin Kingdom. With the heritage of the Kirin Kingdom, it was enough to kill him in the bud. Yu Gu's eyes flickered. He had already made a choice in his heart. Yi Chunfeng and Qian Huahua fought intensely for half an incense stick's time. Suddenly, a powerful, dizzying force blasted into Qian Huahua's soul sea, causing his soul to tremble. His reaction speed became slightly slower. Qianquan sword formation combined. Seizing this excellent opportunity, Yi Chunfeng controlled the 18 Qianquan swords to combine together. They transformed into a huge Qianquan sword that could split the heavens and split the earth. With the power to annihilate everything, it slashed towards Qian Huahua. As Qian Huahua let out a painful howl, 3 of his arms were chopped off by the huge Qianquan sword. A large amount of blood spurted out. When Qian Huahua endured the intense pain and wanted to dodge, Yi Chunfeng used the dizzying technique again and blasted it into his soul sea, causing his reaction speed to pause for a moment. Then, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Qianquan sword to cut off the other 3 arms. Blood flowed out uncontrollably. Chunfeng, don't kill him. Just when Yi Chunfeng wanted to kill Qian Huahua in a spur of energy, Yu Gu stepped on the void and appeared in front of Qian Huahua. He shouted loudly, "Brat, just you wait for my Kirin Kingdom's revenge." Qian Huahua looked at Yi Chunfeng with hatred and let out a vicious scream. "Fine, I'll wait. But you won't live to see that day." As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Qianquan sword formation to fuse together. It tore through the void and intertwined with a large number of innate Tao patterns. It was like a rushing river that slashed towards Yugu and Qianhuahua. Feeling the terror of the Qianquan sword formation and coming into contact with Yi Chunfeng's ruthless eyes, Yugu smelled the thick threat of death. It forced him to dodge instinctively. And when Qianhuahua dodged, he was hit by the dizzying technique again and froze in the void. Chi! The Qianquan sword stirred the void and slashed down, directly splitting Qianhuahua's body diagonally. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng appeared beside Qianhuahua, who was vomiting blood violently. He used the power of the God-Eater brain to search his soul. Just you wait for my Kirin Kingdom's revenge. The lifeless Qianhuahua let out a shriek. He didn't give Yi Chunfeng a chance to search his soul. He detonated his soul, and died by a self-explosion. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1002. Yi Chunfeng, why did you kill him? Do you know the consequences of killing Qianhuahua? Are you trying to push the Yu family into a pit of fire? After witnessing the scene of Qianhuahua exploding, Yugu felt a surge of hot blood rush into his soul. He was so angry that his entire body trembled. Watermark advertisement test. Could it be that they weren't called over by you? Yi Chunfeng asked playfully as his eyes narrowed and flickered with a sharp light. Yi Chunfeng, what do you mean by this? I've already agreed to let Nick Hang marry you. Why are you still doubting our intentions? Yugu said angrily. I don't know who wants to harm me, but as long as it's my enemy, I won't be merciful. Yi Chunfeng's lips curled into an arrogant smile as he said domineeringly. After speaking, he ignored Yugu's fiery gaze and took away Qianhuahua and the others' belongings. He then went to Yu Nichang's side and held her soft hand. Accompanied by Kong Sungqin and the others, they left the banquet hall that was filled with the smell of blood. After the main characters, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nichang, had left, the various powerhouses who had come to congratulate them also left one after another. The Yu family became deserted. Chunfeng, you've killed Qianhuahua and the others. You've definitely angered the Kirin Kingdom. Yu Nichang held Yi Chunfeng's hand tightly and said with a worried expression, I killed Qianhuahua because I wanted the Yu family to choose between me and the Kirin Kingdom. If the Yu family chose me, they would lose a lot, but they would also gain a lot. If I have the ability in the future, I will make the Yu family the #1 holy land in the Eastern continent. Unfortunately, the Yu family still chose the Kirin Kingdom. Yi Chunfeng looked at Yu Nichang's delicate face and slowly said, Then what should we do? The Kirin Kingdom's strength is too terrifying. No, we have to leave the Yu family tonight. Yu Nichang gently bit her red lips and made a huge decision. Don't be afraid of Nichang. Since I dared to kill the people of the Kirin Kingdom, I'm naturally not afraid of their revenge. Furthermore, I want to give the Yu family one last choice. After all, the Yu family was Yu Nichang's roots. For the sake of Yu Nichang, Yi Chunfeng didn't want to go too far. Moreover, even if an accident did happen, Yi Chunfeng was not afraid. With the universe realm, even if all the experts of the Kirin Kingdom came out, they would not be able to harm them. Chunfeng, thank you. Yu Nichang said, emotionally as she tightly pressed her head against Yi Chunfeng's chest. Chunfeng, the four of us will help you keep watch tonight. You can rest assured and consummate your marriage with your bride. Bai Feng looked at the heaven-made couple and said boldly, Then I'll have to trouble the four of you. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng hugged the beautiful and charming Yu Nichang and walked into the bedroom. It was decorated with a large red she character and red candles. After closing the door and setting up a soundproof restriction, the atmosphere in the room immediately became ambiguous. Looking at the moon raiment that he had been dreaming about day and night, the moon raiment that was even more beautiful than a fairy, Yi Chunfeng could not help but be infatuated. He gently lowered his head and kissed Moon Raiment's moist lips. Chunfeng, the smell of blood on your body is a bit heavy. Let me help you take a bath. After kissing for a while, Yu Nikhang gently said. She helped Yi Chunfeng take off his bloodstained clothes and walked with him to the tub of water with rose petals floating in the air. Nikhang, aren't you going to take a bath? Looking at Yu Nichang's beautiful and charming appearance, Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of a naughty smile. If you want, I'll accompany you. The two of them had already done the deed of husband and wife. Yu Nikhang was also not a bashful person. Under Yi Chunfeng's burning gaze, Yu Nikhang gently unbuttoned her clothes, revealing her snow-white skin and seductive body. Under the flickering candlelight, it was covered with a layer of enchanting halo. Looking at Yu Nichang's flawless and perfectly proportioned body, Yi Chunfeng's heart was ignited. He directly carried her by the waist and walked into the tub. Soon, dazzling and enchanting sounds resounded in the room. The pair of newlyweds who had been separated for a long time and had broken through many barriers were completely intoxicated in joy. Under the enchanting spring scenery, they unreservedly demanded, making people unable to distinguish between dream and reality. The enchanting movements were captivating. The two of them were intoxicated from the tub to the big bed. They both wanted to give their best to each other and leave an indelible mark. Just as the two of them were immersed in joy, Yu Gu, Yu Chan, and the others were deeply worried because of the deaths of Qian Huahua and the other two. Ancestor, what should we do? If the Kirin kingdom blames us, we won't be able to bear the consequences. Yu Chan's brows were tightly knitted together. The development of the situation was completely out of her control. She hated Yi Chunfeng to the core. Sigh. I also didn't expect that Yi Chunfeng would be so ruthless. He directly killed Qian Huahua and cut off our path of retreat, forcing us to choose him. Yu Gu sighed softly. However, Yu Gu didn't think that Yi Chunfeng didn't need to go through so much trouble and directly take Yu Nikhang away. That way, Qian Huahua wouldn't spare the Yu family. Yes, if we didn't choose him, perhaps he would do something even more extreme. Yu Rao's brows revealed a trace of viciousness as she said in a low voice. Yi Chunfeng was indeed very outstanding. His talent and heart of martial arts were rarely seen in 10,000 years. His methods were ruthless, and he controlled a huge force. However, compared to the Kirin kingdom, he was somewhat overshadowed. Yu Gu looked at the starlight outside the window and made the final decision. Old ancestor, if we choose to join the Kirin kingdom, will the Kirin kingdom accept us? Yu Chan asked worriedly. If the Kirin kingdom didn't accept them, then their end would be very miserable. If it was before, I wouldn't have the confidence. But now, with Yi Chunfeng as a bargaining chip, I have 90% confidence. Yu Gu revealed a sly smile and said, All right, I'll go to the EC Palace now and pay a visit to the people of the Kirin kingdom. During the time that I'm not here, do everything you can to make Yi Chunfeng stay. Don't let him leave. If necessary, do something to Nikhang. Yu Gu instructed. Rest assured, old ancestor, I'll make Yi Chunfeng happy for a few days. Yu Chan's eyes flashed with a ruthless light. She didn't consider Yi Chunfeng as her son-in-law. The next morning, gentle sunlight passed through the window and illuminated the dark room, waking up Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang from their sweet dreams. Looking at Yu Nikhang snuggled in his arms with a faint smile on her face, Yi Chunfeng's heart was filled with happiness. After marrying Yu Nikhang and having sex with her, Yi Chunfeng found that not only did his heart of martial arts not weaken, it became even more firm, which made him quite surprised. Nikhang, when I went out to sea this time, I inadvertently obtained a dual cultivation divine ability. I wonder if you're interested in cultivating it with me? Gently stroking Yu Nichang's jet-black long hair, Yi Chunfeng thought of the divine ability 36 forms of acacia that Lu Mang gave him, and said with a smirk, Dual cultivation divine ability. Yu Nichang's blurred eyes revealed a trace of charm, and said, Tell me honestly, have you ever cultivated this dual cultivation divine ability with others? No. Yi Chunfeng rubbed his nose and quickly said, You're honest. If you dare to cultivate with others, I won't spare you. Yu Nikhang revealed a trace of charming smile, and said, Tell me, how do I cultivate this dual cultivation divine ability? It's very simple. While Yi Chunfeng taught Yu Nikhang the posture of the 36 forms of acacia. His pair of big hands wandered around her sensitive parts, causing Yu Nichang's whole body to tremble. Soon, the two people groped while cultivating the 36 forms. In the boundless spring room, a cheerful movement sounded. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you can see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1003. Chengfeng, the two of you are finally out. After practicing a few moves of the 36 forms of acacia, Yi Chunfeng and his wife left the room. Kong Sungqian and the others, who had been waiting outside for a long time, walked into the courtyard. The bold and unrestrained Bai Feng said half-jokingly, "Sorry for making you wait for so long." Seeing the smiles in their eyes, Yi Chunfeng said awkwardly, "We are not in a hurry, but your father-in-law seems to be looking for you. He came several times and asked you to see him when you wake up." Kong Sungqian said with a faint smile, "Is that so? Then Nikhang and I will go see him." Yu Nikhang revealed a meaningful smile and said, "King of Slaughter, you and the three elders go rest in Yuezhou City. If there is anything, I will send you a message." "Okay." The King of Slaughter understood the meaning in Yi Chunfeng's eyes and nodded. "Let's go, Nikhang. Let's go see your father. Maybe they have changed their mind." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng, who was deep in thought, held Yu Nishang's soft hand and went to the courtyard where Yu Chan cultivated. "Chunfeng, Nikhang, did you have a good rest last night?" Yu Chan seemed to have forgotten yesterday's unhappiness and asked with a loving smile. Yi Chunfeng, who had a good rest, looked at Yu Chan as if he wanted to see through him. "Father, what do you want from me and Chunfeng?" Yu Nikhang knew Yu Chan's ambition and asked nervously. If Yu Chan chose to side with the Kirin kingdom, then the Yu family would fight Yi Chunfeng to the death. She would also have to follow Yi Chunfeng and break with the Yu family. This was something she did not want to see. Yesterday, I had a discussion with the two ancestors, and in the end, we decided to support Chunfeng and not compromise with the Kirin kingdom. Yu Chan said without meaning it. "Really?" Yu Nichang's eyes widened, revealing a look of pleasant surprise. "Yes, we've thought it through. The Kirin kingdom is too far away for us, and with Chunfeng's potential and talent, it's only a matter of time before he stands at the peak of the soul-fighting continent. That's why we chose Chunfeng." Yu Chan nodded and said sincerely, "Chunfeng, I hope you won't disappoint us. As long as the Yu family doesn't disappoint me, I won't disappoint you." Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and said meaningfully, "Haha, don't worry, the Yu family won't disappoint you." Yu Chan laughed and said, "But Chunfeng, Qian Huahua's status in the Kirin kingdom is not low, and his death will definitely enrage the Kirin kingdom. To be cautious, we need to deploy in advance, and we will need your help when the time comes." "What do you need me to do?" Yi Chunfeng asked. He kept analyzing the truth of Yu Chan's words. "I heard that you have a deep understanding of arrays, so we would like to invite you to work with the Yu family's array masters to reinforce the sect protecting array of our Yu family to defend against external enemies." Yu Chan said. "Okay, no problem." Yi Chunfeng agreed without even thinking. "Haha, you're indeed my good son-in-law. I hope the Yu family can tide over this crisis and let me enjoy the happiness of a family." Yu Chan laughed and said, "As long as we work together, we will definitely be able to tide over this crisis. But if everyone has different intentions, then it will be hard to say." Yi Chunfeng said with deep meaning. "Yes, I agree with Chunfeng." Yu Chan nodded and said, "By the way, Chunfeng, Nikhang, when will you let me hold my grandson? I can't wait." "Father, we will work hard." Seeing that Yu Chan sincerely accepted Yi Chunfeng, Yu Nikhang revealed a relieved smile, but Yi Chunfeng felt suspicious. Yu Chan's attitude changed too quickly, so quickly that people couldn't help but suspect his intentions. He asked Yi Chunfeng to help strengthen the Yu family's sect-protecting array. It seemed that there was nothing wrong with it, but he used Yi Chunfeng as an excuse to keep him in the Yu family. This was very suspicious. However, Yi Chunfeng had the Chinquan realm, so he wasn't afraid of the Yu family's scheme. Since the Yu family wanted to scheme against him, he would play with the Yu family. Chengfeng, the Kirin kingdom may attack at any time. I want to strengthen the sect-protecting array immediately. Is that okay? Yu Chan asked deliberately. Father, I want to take Yi Chunfeng to Yuezhou City today. Ask Master Ku to strengthen the array first. Yu Nikhang asked softly. Nikhang, you're already married to Chengfeng. It's still early, so there's no need to rush. Now, the Yu family survival is at stake. The slightest discomfort could lead to the destruction of the Yu family. You can't be careless. Yu Chan said seriously. His words made Yi Chunfeng completely certain that there was something wrong with the Yu family. Yu Chan didn't let him go out because he was afraid that he would run away. Nikhang, father-in-law is right. We have to look at the big picture. Yi Chunfeng's lips curled into a cold smile that was hard to detect. He nodded in agreement. Okay, then let's strengthen the sect-protecting array first. However, Chengfeng must accompany me tonight. Yu Nikhang saw that Yi Chunfeng also agreed. She had no choice but to compromise. Soon, the Yu family's 3 array formation masters gathered under Yu Chan's summons. Together with Yi Chunfeng, they set up layers of sect-protecting array formations around the Yu family mansion. This strengthened the Yu family's defenses. Because Yu Chan was deliberately stalling for time, she asked Yi Chunfeng and the 3 array formation masters to set up the array formations. Each layer was stronger than the previous one. It took a lot of time to set up each layer. However, Yi Chunfeng didn't care. During the day, he helped the Yu family set up the array formations. At night, he and Yu Nikhang would cultivate the 36 forms of acacia in the room. Yu Nikhang saw that Yi Chunfeng was working very hard to set up the array formations. She wanted to compensate him. She constantly tried out complicated postures with him. She was happily improving her own strength. Very soon, a week had passed. Chengfeng, thank you for everything you've done for the Yu family. Yu Nikhang, who had just finished cultivating the 36 postures, nestled in Yi Chunfeng's embrace and said with a blissful expression, For you, I can give up everything. I'm just afraid that the Yu family won't appreciate it. Hugging Yu Nichang's smooth body, Yi Chunfeng fell into deep thought. Chengfeng, are you still doubting my father's sincerity towards you? Yu Nikhang could hear the hidden meaning in Yi Chunfeng's words. She gently propped herself up and asked. Whether he was sincere or not, she would know tonight. Yi Chunfeng's eyes flickered as he said. Just now, he had received a message from the King of Massacre. The King of Massacre told him that mysterious experts had invaded Yu State City, including 3 level 6 beast emperors. Chengfeng, what's going on? Can you tell me the truth? Yu Nikhang felt that something was wrong, so she asked nervously. If I told you that your father had asked me to set up layers upon layers of formations to trap me, would you believe me? Yi Chunfeng said indifferently. Could it be that the Yu family still chose the Kirin kingdom? Yu Nichang's heart was in a mess. Sigh, the Yu family chose the immediate benefits and gave up the beautiful future. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly and kissed Yu Nichang's smooth forehead. He said, Let's go. We'll put on our clothes and go out to take a look. I hope I misunderstood your father and nothing big happened tonight. After that, Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang put on their clothes, turned off the soundproof restriction, and walked out of the room. But in the next moment, Yu Nichang's expression changed. She widened her eyes and looked at the faintly discernible formation patterns in the air. Her face revealed a trace of anger. The Yu family's sect protecting formation that was activated for no reason showed that Yi Chunfeng did not lie to her. The Yu family really chose the Kirin kingdom and activated the strongest restriction formation, trapping them in the Yu family mansion. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1004. Chengfeng Nikhang, it's so late. Why are you out here? When Yi Chunfeng held Yu Nichang's small hand and walked out, the black-robed Yu Chan appeared with 2 Yu family experts and intercepted them. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement test. The night is pretty good tonight. Nikhang, and I want to go out for a walk. Yi Feng said lightly, as if he didn't see the layers of restrictions. Yuezhou City has not been very peaceful recently. You'd better go back to your room and rest. Don't go out. Yuchan no longer had the smile on her face as she said coldly, "We don't want to go back to our room. We just want to go out for a walk." Yu Nikang said stubbornly with a disappointed look. "I said no means no." Yuchan refused directly. "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and send Miss and son-in-law back to their room to rest. You family head, you don't want us to go out. Are you afraid that we will run away?" Yi Feng changed the way he addressed her and said coldly, "Feng, I don't understand what you mean by running away." Yu Chan's face turned gloomy in an instant. Her eyes revealed a fierce look. "You family head, at this time, you still want to hide it. Don't you think you are too hypocritical?" Yi Feng faced a sharp glint in Yu Chan's eyes and said directly, You already know?" Yu Chan frowned and asked in a low voice. "When Nick Hang and I came to find you, I already knew." Yi Feng said with a smile. "Then why did you help my Yu family set up the formation?" Yu Chan looked at Yi Feng's calm appearance and felt a trace of uneasiness in her heart. "Yu Chan, your Yu family is afraid of the Kirin Kingdom, but I am not. If I kill a few more people of the Kirin Kingdom and leave, who do you think the Kirin Kingdom will vent their anger on?" Yi Feng asked as he looked at Yu Chan's slightly changed expression. "Yi Feng, don't try to bluff. You won't be able to escape today." Yu Chan couldn't help but take a step back and said loudly, "Is that so?" Yi Feng's eyes narrowed into the most dangerous pinhole. He reached out his hand, and the Tao of the five elements and life and death Tao shot out. They intertwined with each other, formed an innate Tao seal that bombarded Yu Chan Tao treasure. Demonic statue. Yu Chan knew Yi Feng's strength very well. Even the level 6 combat beast emperor Qian Huahua was killed on the spot, let alone her. She quickly summoned the pitch-black demonic statue to block Yi Feng's Tao intent attack. Boom! Facing the innate Tao seal head-on, the pitch-black demonic statue let out a deafening roar. A large amount of Tao intent continuously disintegrated the demonic statue's power and shook it until it kept retreating. Tao of two extremes of life and death in, Yi Feng punched out again. The Tao of life and death that he had deduced to the extreme rushed forward like a long river and transformed into a Tao disc of life and death. It distorted the space and ruthlessly bombarded the pitch-black demonic statue, sending it flying. 100 layers of defense magic array. After experiencing Yi Feng's terrifying strength, Yu Chan didn't hesitate to control the sect protecting magic array to form thousands of array patterns and attack Yi Feng. Gu Fanqing, break for me. The Gu Fanqing that Yi Feng obtained from killing Sha Tinya broke out of his body. It shone with dazzling starlight and evolved star Tao intent. It shattered the thousands of array patterns descending from the sky and ruthlessly collided with a 100-layered demon warding magic array that was formed by hundreds of overlapping array patterns. Crack! The 100-layered demon warding magic array was hit by Gu Fanqing, and like fragile glass, it was filled with crisscrossing cracks. The rapidly converging array patterns were also constantly cracking under Gu Fanqing's attack. It couldn't be attacked at all. You actually know the array core of the 100-layered demon warding magic array? Yu Chan's eyes widened, and she lost her composure as she asked, "I have to say that your acting skills are a little bad. The reason why I agreed to help you guys set up the array was to find the array core." Yi Feng looked at Yu Chan's changed expression and said sarcastically, "Father, you are really stupid. You would rather rely on the Kirin Kingdom like a dog than choose Chung Feng. Do you know that if you give Chung Feng another 100 years, the Kirin Kingdom might not be able to do anything to him? What you are abandoning is a son-in-law that many people can't wait for." Yu Nikang looked at Yu Chan with disappointment. She no longer had any attachment to this family. Humph, 100 years. Do you think the Kirin Kingdom will give him 100 years to grow? Yu Chan snorted coldly and said, "After offending the Kirin Kingdom, he is destined to be a short-lived ghost. He won't even live past tonight." Yu Chan, you are too naive. I have already seen through your thoughts, yet I still dare to stay. Do you think I am afraid of the Kirin Kingdom? Sooner or later, you will pay the price of your stupid decision in blood. After saying that, Yi Chen-feng was like an invincible god of war. He held Yu Nichang's little hand and walked toward him step by step. Go die. When Yi Chen-feng and Yu Chan approached, Yu Chan revealed a sinister expression. She quickly shot an extremely powerful demonic destruction orb at Yi Chen-feng. She wanted to use the power of the demonic destruction orb to injure Yi Chen-feng. Yi Chen-feng didn't dodge the demonic destruction orb. He quickly stretched out his left hand and grabbed the demonic destruction orb. He exerted his strength and crushed the demonic destruction orb. Boom! A loud sound came from Yi Chen-feng's palm. Waves of demonic destruction orb flowed out through the gaps between his fingers, causing the air to churn violently. However, Yi Chen-feng's body was comparable to a mid-grade Dao tool. The demonic destruction orb's explosion didn't cause any harm to him. Why you? Yu Chan was so shocked that her eyes almost popped out of their sockets when she witnessed Yi Chen-feng crushing the demonic destruction orb. She didn't expect Yi Chen-feng's body to be so freakish. It was completely beyond her imagination. Yi Chen-feng, stay here obediently. At this moment, Yu Rao, who was holding a dragon-headed staff, stepped on the void and appeared. She activated her Dao intent to the extreme. A dragon-like staff shadow smashed down and smashed towards Yi Chen-feng with a force of 1,000 caddies. Blue Sky Seal Yi Chen-feng circulated the blue sky secret art rapidly. He drew in the void with his left hand. A large number of Dao patterns and heavenly powers fused together and condensed into a water tank-sized green seal engraved with ancient seals. It smashed the dragon-headed staff shadow and blasted towards Yurao. Rumble. The void trembled for a moment. The blue sky seal exploded. The terrifying heavenly powers and Dao intent were released at the same time, distorting a large area of the void. Yu Rao, who couldn't dodge in time, was sent flying, leaving behind a large cloud of blood mist in midair. Yu Chan, use whatever other methods you have. Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't have a chance anymore. Yi Chen-feng looked at Yu Chan, who turned pale with fright, and said coldly, I am Nichan's father. If you hurt me, you will be punished by the heavens. Yu Chan said loudly, Now you remember that you are Nichan's father? I thought you had already forgotten. Yi Chen-feng mocked coldly with a snort of laughter. Yu Chan was so angry that her entire body was trembling. She couldn't wait to cut Yi Chen-feng into pieces. Forget it, for the sake of Nick Hang. I won't make things difficult for you. However, if you don't know what's good for you and continue to pester me, then don't blame me for starting a massacre. Yi Chen-feng warned coldly. He controlled Gu Fanxing to forcefully break through the 100-layered demon warding formation enveloping the Yu family's old residence. He wanted to leave this place. However, he suddenly realized that a boundless ocean had appeared onto the night sky. Rolling waves swept through the sky and enveloped the entire Yu family's old residence, trapping them in the ocean. The Locking Ocean Heavenly Scroll. This was the East Sea Palace's most precious treasure, the Locking Ocean Heavenly Scroll. The scroll locked an ocean. The experts of the East Sea Palace had arrived. Yu Nichang's expression changed slightly when she saw the ocean enveloping the Yu family's old residence. She cried out in alarm. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1005. The Treasure of the East Sea Palace. Sea Locking Heavenly Diagram. Looking at the rolling and roaring waves in the void, Yi Chen-feng's expression didn't change at all. With a thought, the vermilion bird cauldron broke out of his body. Like a meteor with a long fiery tail, it collided with the Sea Locking Heavenly Diagram together with the Gu Fanxing. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test boom, boom. An earth-shattering explosion sounded in the Sea Locking Heavenly Diagram. The violently rolling waves were constantly annihilated, causing the entire void to tremble violently. However, the Sea Locking Heavenly Diagram was a Gu Dao treasure. Its defense was extremely strong. Yi Chen-feng couldn't tear it apart even though he controlled the two Gu Dao treasures. Yi Chen-feng, don't make a meaningless struggle. You won't be able to escape from here. At this moment, the Lord of the East Sea Palace, Hemingway Map, the fair-skinned, graceful, and mature Sakuraji, Hai San Jian, who had a deep hatred for Yi Chen-feng, two old men with turbid eyes and skin that was as dry as tree bark, as if they had one foot in a coffin, and Yu Gu, appeared in the chaotic Yu family's old residence together. I want to leave. Do you think you can stop me with just a mob like you? Yi Chen-feng looked at Hemingway Map and the others and said domineeringly. The battle intent on his body suddenly erupted. His entire body was like an unsheathed sharp sword pointing to the sky. Arrogant brat, I'll definitely destroy you today. Hemingway Map took out the sea god statue. Waves of divine power spread out from the sea god statue. The terrifying pressure made everyone present feel suffocated. Tell the people of the Kirin Kingdom to come out. You can't threaten me with just you. Yi Chen-feng ignored the divine suppression released by the sea god statue. He gently hugged Yu Nikhang, who was having difficulty breathing, and said domineeringly, F***CK, you adulterous couple. When I capture you later, I will use 100 different methods to torture you and send you to the afterlife. Looking at Yu Nikhang nestled in Yi Chen-feng's arms and recalling the humiliation that Yi Chen-feng had brought him, Hai San Jian was so angry that his entire body trembled. He gritted his teeth and swore, that day will never come. With that, Yi Chen-feng's cloud-treading boots appeared under his feet. He suddenly leaped into the air with Yu Nikhang in his arms. He stepped on the sword and created a sword diagram. Like a divine sword unsheathed from its scabbard, he tore through the layers of suppression and flew towards the ferocious Hai San Jian. As Yi Chen-feng flew over, Hemingway Map immediately controlled the sea god statue to attack Yi Chen-feng. Sakuraji, the two gray-robed elders, and Yu Gu also attacked at the same time. They unleashed powerful earth skills and twisted the void. They wanted to work together to severely injure Yi Chen-feng. Qinkuan Sword Formation 18 Qinkuan swords flew out of Yi Chen-feng's body and quickly condensed into a Qinkuan sword formation. They revolve around Yi Chen-feng's body and blocked the attacks from all directions. They shook the sea god statue. Stun technique in the next moment. The soul power in Yi Chen-feng's mind completely erupted. Like heavy hammers, they smashed into Hemingway Map and the other soul seas, causing their souls to tremble. Their reactions were temporarily delayed, and their continuous attacks were forcefully interrupted. Whoosh! Yi Chen-feng took a step forward, and 100 swords shot out at the same time. The extremely sharp sword Dao pattern cut through all obstacles and tore through layers of barriers. He appeared in front of Hai San Jian, who turned pale with fright. Seeing Yi Chen-feng tearing through space, Hai San Jian had goosebumps all over his body. A cold air invaded his body, causing his entire body to turn numb. When he met Yi Chen-feng's cold eyes, Hai San Jian instinctively turned around and wanted to escape. However, a terrifying dizziness force blasted into his mind, making him feel as if his head had been smashed by a huge rock. An intense dizziness occurred in his soul sea, and his mind went blank. Bang! Yi Chen-feng quickly kicked out and aimed at Hai San Jian's lower body. The terrifying force exploded his lower body, and the immense pain caused Hai San Jian to instantly regain his consciousness. He let out a heart-wrenching roar, and it was so painful that he was hovering between life and death. Just as Hemingway Map and the others surrounded and attacked, Yi Chen-feng hugged Yu Nikhang and raised his body again. He stepped on Hai San Jian's face, smashing his nose and cracking his cheekbone. He then stomped on Hai San Jian's face, crushing his nose and cracking his cheekbone. He then stomped on Hai San Jian from midair and onto the ground. Bang! Hai San Jian, who had completely lost control of his body, crashed onto the ground, creating a huge pit on the white jade floor. A large amount of blood spurted out from his body, and more than half of his bones were shattered. Cosmos Sword Formation combined. Yi Chen-feng's body flashed as he hugged Yu Nichang's soft body and dodged the various Dao skills. He controlled the Cosmo Sword formation and combined it together, turning it into a huge sword that could split the heavens and split the earth. It carried an astonishing destructive force and forced Hemingway Map and the others to retreat. Following that, Yi Chenfeng increased his speed to the maximum. Before Hemingway Map and the others could attack, he left an afterimage in midair and appeared beside the severely injured Hai San Jian almost instantaneously. He then stomped on Hai San Jian's chest, causing it to collapse. Hai San Jian, I can kill you like killing a dog. How dare you threaten me like this? What a joke. Yi Chenfeng looked at Hai San Jian, who was vomiting blood and was severely injured, with disdain and arrogance. Yi Chenfeng, don't you dare hurt my son. Seeing that Hai San Jian's life was in danger under Yi Chenfeng's foot, Sakuraji panicked and shouted at him. TSK. Just as Sakuraji finished speaking, Yi Chenfeng shot out a sharp sword light from his fingertip and chopped off Hai San Jian's head. He died with his eyes wide open. Yi Chenfeng, I'll kill you. Seeing Hai San Jian's head being chopped off, Hemingway Map and Sakuraji were instantly enraged. Two powerful Dao skills descended from the sky and blasted towards him. You family's experts, listen up. Attack together. Whoever can injure Yi Chenfeng will be heavily rewarded. Yu Gu, who had an ugly expression, kept summoning the Yu family's experts. He wanted to work together to kill Yi Chenfeng. Spiritual fish for heavenly beasts quickly come out and help. Yi Chenfeng did not panic despite being surrounded. He summoned the spiritual fish, chaos divine beasts, golden clear dragon blood lion, Pegasus, and dual-headed lizard from the universe mirror. The king of massacre, Kong Sung-chun, and the others had also rushed to the Yi family's old mansion. They controlled their respective treasures and attacked the sea-locking heavenly diagram. They wanted to tear the Gudao treasure apart and kill their way in. You family, I'll give you one last chance. If you retreat now, I can spare you. However, if you insist on being stubborn, then don't blame me for starting a massacre. Yi Chenfeng looked at Yu Gu, Yu Chan, and the others with a sharp gaze. He released a murderous aura and warned them coldly. Yi Chenfeng, you bastard. Surrender obediently. Yu Gu, who had something to rely on, was unmoved and shouted loudly. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being merciless. The Blood Dragon Emperor, which was more than 1,000 meters long, appeared on Yi Chenfeng's body. Facing the Yu family, Yi Chenfeng did not show any mercy. He was ready to kill the enemy with all his strength and leave with Yu Nikang. Suddenly, a green flute appeared in Yu Rao's hand. She gently blew it, making a strange, ear-piercing sound. Affected by the sound of the flute, the pale-faced Yu Nikang, who was leaning close to Yi Chenfeng, was attracted. Her brain was confused, and her eyes instantly turned blood red. In the next moment, a demonic destruction orb appeared in Yu Nichang's hand. Before Yi Chenfeng could react, she crushed it. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1006. Nichang, the instant the demonic destruction orb exploded, Yi Chenfeng reacted quickly. He grabbed the demonic destruction orb and forcefully pushed away Yu Nikang. Rumble, the demonic destruction orb's explosive power instantly engulfed Yi Chenfeng. The terrifying explosive power continuously battered his body. However, Yi Chenfeng's physical defense was too strong. The demonic destruction orb, which was strong enough to destroy a level 1 combat beast emperor, could not harm him at all. An astonishing power erupted from Yi Chenfeng's body and broke through the demonic destruction orb. He appeared beside Yu Nikang, whose consciousness had been affected by the flute's music and had fallen into chaos. Yi Chenfeng, why aren't you surrendering? If you continue to resist, I will destroy Nichang's soul and make you regret it for the rest of your life. Yu Rao raised her flute and warned loudly. Under Yu Rao's orders, 2 experts from the Yu family approached Yi Chenfeng, intending to injure him in close combat. Scram! Yi Chenfeng did not expect the Yu family to be so despicable. Not only did they scheme against him, They even schemed against Yu Nikhang. Dense killing intent rose in his heart. The power in his 5 acupuncture points completely erupted. More than 25 million gene of strength surged out of his body and heavily bombarded the 2 experts from the Yu family, directly shattering their bodies. God-Eater Brain, devour. Seeing Yu Nikhang in extreme pain, Yi Chunfeng quickly controlled the God-Eater Brain to release a powerful devouring power. It broke into Yu Nichang's soul sea, intending to devour the seal in her soul sea. Yi Chunfeng, you forced me to do this. Sensing that the seal in Yu Nichang's soul sea was disintegrating, Yu Rao's eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness. She increased the frequency of the flute's music and directly detonated the seal in Yu Nichang's soul sea. A powerful seal exploded in Yu Nichang's soul sea, shattering Yu Nichang's soul. Large amounts of blood flowed out from her 7 orifices. Nikhang, Yi Chunfeng did not expect Yu Rao to be so ruthless as to directly detonate the seal. He immediately panicked. If Yu Nichang's soul was torn apart, no matter how powerful he would not be able to save Yu Nichang's life. Seeing that Yu Nichang's soul was being torn apart by the seal's self-detonation, large amounts of soul fragments emerged from the depths of her soul sea. They stabilized the fragmented soul and resisted the self-detonation seal's attack. In the next moment, a power that exceeded Yi Chunfeng's imagination erupted from Yu Nichang's body. It directly sent Yi Chunfeng flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood. What kind of power was this? How could Nichang's body hide such a power? Yi Chunfeng quickly wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He looked at Yu Nikhang, who was clutching her head with both hands and in a state of madness. He revealed a worried expression. Just as Yi Chunfeng's attention was attracted by Yu Nikhang, the red-eyed Han Mingwei controlled the sea god statue to suppress Yi Chunfeng. He wanted to use this opportunity to heavily injure Yi Chunfeng. I want all of you to die. Yi Chunfeng threw out a punch. Surging Dao intent transformed into a large number of Dao patterns, which collapsed the sky. The punch sent the sea god statue flying. Nikhang, what's wrong with you? Yi Chunfeng used sword steps and approached Yu Nikhang. He wanted to check on her body and help her regain her senses. Don't come near me. When Yi Chunfeng approached, Yu Nikhang, whose eyes were bloodshot, let out a pained cry. Waves of power that exceeded Yi Chunfeng's imagination spread out from her body, bombarding Yi Chunfeng and preventing him from approaching. At this moment, Hemingway Map, Yu Gu, and the others continued to attack. They wanted to kill Yi Chunfeng and Yu Nikhang together. All of you deserve to die. Unable to get close to Yu Nikhang, the enraged Yi Chunfeng summoned his 2 doppelgangers. They charged into the void, facing the onslaught of Dao skills. He wanted to kill the 2 powerhouses first, then find a way to help Yu Nikhang regain her senses. While Yi Chunfeng was attacking with his 2 doppelgangers, the spiritual fish, the chaos divine beast, and the other 4 level 8 heavenly beasts also flew into the void, launching ferocious attacks at the Yu family's powerhouses. Roar! Both sides fought fiercely. The Yu family's old mansion rang with an angry dragon roar. The double-headed black Jiao dragon that was injured by Yi Chunfeng earlier appeared. It twisted its huge body and charged at Yi Chunfeng. Little Jiao dragon, you have quite the voice. Watch me tear you apart. After refining the white tiger skeleton, the chaos divine beast was only 1 step away from breaking through to become a level 9 heavenly beast. With the skeleton, it could already use part of its inherited mystique. It opened its mouth and roared. Its 4 red wings flapped violently, creating a strong hurricane. It charged at the double-headed black Jiao dragon and started to fight fiercely in midair. Although the Chaos Divine Beast level was lower than the double-headed black Jiao dragon, its inherited mystique was much more powerful than the double-headed black Jiao dragon. The 2 heavenly beasts fought fiercely in midair. They were evenly matched and did not give in to each other. If I can destroy the Western Demon Sect, I can also destroy your Yu family. I can also destroy the East Sea Palace. Just wait for me to remove your names from the list. Yi Chunfeng said with killing intent. He ignited his celestial demon bloodline and transformed into his celestial demon body. He held the heavenly halberd in one hand and the emperor celestial sword in the other. He started to kill crazily, killing the powerhouses of the two powerhouses like a whirlwind. Let's work together to kill this little bastard. Yi Chunfeng's combat power was beyond imagination. Hemingway Map, Sakuraji, the two level 6 combat beast emperors, and Yu Gu attacked Yi Chunfeng together. They wanted to injure him severely. However, after transforming into his celestial demon body, Yi Chunfeng's body was close to the level of a high-grade Dao artifact. His physical strength increased to 150 million Jin. The attacks launched by Hemingway Map and the others could not hurt Yi Chunfeng at all. Straight Line / Yi Chunfeng exploded with shocking strength and tore through the attacks. His entire body was like a flash of light as he slashed through the air. He stabbed his sword towards Hemingway Map, who had just broken through to level 5 combat Beast Emperor. Dao Artifact Fragment. Defense feeling the killing intent of the straight line slash. Hemingway Map summoned a fragment of a Dao artifact to block in front of him, blocking the fatal blow of the straight line slash. However, the power of Yi Chunfeng's sword was too great. The straight line slash pierced through the Dao artifact fragment like a hot knife through butter. The remaining power did not diminish as it stabbed towards Hemingway Map's chest. He wanted to pierce through his chest and kill him. At this critical moment, two level 6 beast emperors in gray robes attacked from the left and right. They used their powerful Daoist techniques and bombarded Yi Chunfeng like a surging sea. They forcefully interrupted his attack and saved Hai Ming too, who was in a rather sorry state. Sacred Thunder of Purple Beginnings. Yi Chunfeng had too many attacking methods. After his attack was interrupted by the two level 6 combat beast emperors, he immediately controlled the Sacred Thunder of Purple Beginnings to surge out of his body. It turned into a thunder tide and bombarded Hemingway Map and the others. Puffed. Under the attack of the Sacred Thunder of Purple Beginnings, the defense of Hemingway Map and the others immediately collapsed. The terrifying Sacred Thunder blasted them away, their bodies badly mutilated. Go to hell. What happened to you, Nick Hang, completely triggered the killing intent in Yi Chunfeng's heart. He was like an angry lion, letting out an uncontrollable roar. He controlled the Sacred Thunder of Purple Beginnings, the dual polarity ancient heavenly water, and the death blaze to surge out of his body. He crazily slaughtered the masters of the Yu family who came close to him. In the blink of an eye, nearly 10 masters of the Yu family were killed by Yi Chunfeng. A large amount of blood splattered and flowed into the crisscrossing cracks on the ground. It was like a strange bloodstream. Witnessing Yi Chunfeng's shocking attack power and the severely injured Hemingway Map, Yu Gu was deeply shocked. A strong sense of fear arose in his heart. Go! Sensing that the situation was completely out of control, Hemingway Map retracted the sea-sealing heavenly scroll that was sealing the Yu family's old house like a tidal wave. He wanted to retreat. However, at this moment, Kong Sungqin and the other three appeared and sealed off their escape route, cutting off their thoughts of escaping. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1007. Sealock Heavenly Chart, Defense. Trapped in a desperate situation, Hemingway Map immediately controlled the Sealock Heavenly Chart to envelop the 5 of them, forming a boundless sea to block the attacks of Yi Chunfeng, Kong Sungqin, and the others. Watermark Advertisement, Test Watermark Advertisement, Test Heavenly Sword Boundless. Yi Chunfeng controlled the Sword Soul and infused it into the Emperor Heaven Sword, activating the prowess of the Emperor Heaven Sword Spirit. He continuously slashed out sword lights that were like boundless Dao, ferociously attacking the Sealock Heavenly Chart. Gu Dao Treasure, Vermilion Burr Cauldron, and Gu Fanqing were also under the control of his will, constantly attacking the Sealock Heavenly Chart. They were determined to tear the Sealock Heavenly Chart apart and kill Hemingway Map and the others. Kong Sungqin and the others were also using their powerful Dao techniques to attack the Sea Lock heavenly chart. Under the waves of Dao techniques, cracks started to appear on the Sea Lock heavenly chart. Hemingway Map, who was controlling the Sea Lock heavenly chart to defend with all his might, kept spitting out blood and seemed to be on the verge of collapsing. Why aren't the people from the Kirin Kingdom here yet? Yu Chan, who couldn't defend against the sword puppet's attacks and was covered in injuries, shouted in her heart. If the people from the Kirin Kingdom still didn't appear, Yi Qinfeng's strength would be enough to destroy the Yu family and wipe them out from the East Continent. Don't be stingy with the destruction demonic pearls. Yu Rao, who was covered in demonic aura and had a huge demonic shadow, ordered loudly. She took out all the destruction demonic pearls in her body and attacked the 2 clones and the 3 heavenly beasts. Looking at the destruction demonic pearls that were attacking them at high speed, the sword puppet and Xingluo's clones weren't afraid at all. They intertwined sword lights and starlight, forming a huge attack net, enveloping all the destruction demonic pearls and causing them to explode. Boom! Boom! Deafening explosions rang out incessantly. The terrifying explosive force blasted the entire void into pieces, filling it with crisscrossing cracks. However, the sword puppet and Xingluo's doppelganger, who were at the center of the explosion, weren't affected at all. They tore through the layers of explosion and approached Yu Rao, Yu Chan, and the others. After witnessing how terrifying the sword puppet and Xingluo's doppelganger were, Yu Chan and the others decided to retreat. However, just as they were about to retreat, a series of ear-piercing sounds rang out. At this critical moment, more than 10 experts of the Kirin Kingdom streaked across the air, which was dyed red by blood, and rushed to the Yu family's mansion. Stop it! All of you, stop it! A rank 6 beast emperor expert from the Qilin Divine Nation, who wore silver armor, a crown on his head, and held a silver spear in his hand, saw the situation in front of him. His expression darkened as he gave an irresistible order. However, Yi Qinfeng and the others ignored him and continued to attack. They were determined to tear apart the sea-sealing heavenly scroll. Damn it, I asked you to stop. Are you deaf? The silver-armored man's gaze locked onto Yi Qinfeng, who was attacking the most ferociously. With a flash, he got close to Yi Qinfeng and shouted angrily. Just as he finished speaking, Yi Qinfeng quickly turned his body. The Emperor's celestial sword in his hand shone with Dao intent radiance as it swept through the void and slashed over. The silver-armored man didn't expect Yi Qinfeng to dare to attack him. His expression changed as he immediately raised his silver spear to defend himself. When the terrifying Emperor's celestial sword slashed at the silver-armored man's silver spear, a force of more than 150 million kilograms was transmitted into his arms. It directly broke his arms, causing large amounts of blood to spurt out. Just as the silver-armored man was about to dodge, a powerful, dizzying force blasted into his sea of soul, causing his reaction to become slightly sluggish. In the next moment, Yi Qinfeng's green heaven secret art circulated rapidly. A green seal with flowing innate Dao patterns smashed onto the silver-armored man's chest. It broke through his body's defense and sent him flying. After sending the silver-armored man flying with a single strike, Yi Qinfeng followed up with another attack. The Emperor's celestial sword in his hand turned into the boundless great Dao. Under the silver-armored man's horrified gaze, Yi Qinfeng slashed his heavily injured body into 2 with a single strike, killing him in an instant. Damn it! How dare you kill an expert of the Kirin Kingdom? After witnessing the scene of Yi Qinfeng killing an expert of the Kirin Kingdom, a young level 5 combat beast emperor in luxurious clothes said with a ferocious expression. His right arm was covered with demonic beast scales. This young man in luxurious clothes was none other than the 8th prince, who fought with Yi Qinfeng for the Sword Steps divine art on the Immortal Island. In the end, one of his arms was chopped off by Yi Qinfeng. So what if he killed him? Yi Qinfeng stared coldly at the 8th prince and said without mercy, "If you don't learn your lesson, I will kill you too." "You, it's you." Hearing Yi Qinfeng's words, the 8th prince raised his eyebrows. Through the bright moonlight, he saw the Emperor Celestial's sword clearly and immediately recognized his identity. Good, good, good. I have been looking for you for a long time. I didn't expect to see you here. This is great. It saves me the trouble of looking for you all over the world. Thinking about the revenge of losing his arm, the killing intent in the Eighth Prince's eyes intensified. Eighth Prince, save me. Hemingway Map, who was facing the fierce attacks of Kong Sung-shin and the other three, was on the verge of breaking down and called for help loudly. Everyone, listen to my order. Kill them all. Don't let any of them escape. The Eighth Prince's eyes flashed with killing intent as he ordered loudly. The arrival of the experts of the Kirin Kingdom instantly turned the situation around. However, the strength of Kong Sung-shin and the others was equally terrifying. They fought fiercely in the air above the Yu family's old house. The terrifying attacks shook the whole Yu family's old house violently, and many buildings were destroyed. By Commandant, capture him. I will chop off his limbs and turn him into a human stick. I will make him beg for death. The Eighth Prince ordered coldly. Yes, like a ghost, the old man in black floated behind the Eighth Prince. He looked old, but he gave off an extremely dangerous aura. Nirvana. When Yi Chunfeng came into contact with the resplendent light in the black-clad old man's eyes and felt the mountain-like aura emanating from his body, his pupils constricted as he revealed a grave expression. It seemed that the Eighth Prince was highly valued in the Kirin Kingdom. This time, he actually followed a Nirvana expert as his bodyguard, escorting him. Swish! The old man in black took a step forward. His whole body appeared in front of Yi Chunfeng as if he had teleported. He gently stretched out his right hand and grabbed Yi Chunfeng's chest. This attack seemed ordinary, but made Yi Chunfeng's hair stand on end. He didn't hesitate to use the sword steps to dodge. Boom! The moment Yi Chunfeng dodged, the space where he was just a moment ago was cracked by the old man's grab. 5 black holes appeared in the space and didn't disappear for a long time. So strong. The Nirvana realm experts of the Divine Kingdom were indeed terrifying. Seeing the attack of the old man in black, Yi Chunfeng's expression became even more solemn. His speed wasn't slow, but it was useless. As he spoke, the black-clothed old man used a strange footwork and instantly appeared in front of Yi Chunfeng. He waved his wrinkled old hand and continued to attack Yi Chunfeng. The ferocious attacks forced Yi Chunfeng to retreat step by step. Yi Chunfeng's offense was completely suppressed. After experiencing the terrifying strength of the old man in black, Yi Chunfeng immediately called back the sword puppet and Xingluo's doppelganger to resist the old man in black. However, the old man in black's strength was beyond imagination. His attack methods were endless. Yi Chunfeng couldn't resist his attacks, even with the help of his doppelganger. Boy, when I capture you, I will let you taste all the pain in the world. I will torture you for 100 years before sending you to the Western Paradise. Seeing Yi Chunfeng in danger and repeatedly dodging, the sinister smile on the Eighth Prince's face became even wider. It was as if he had already grasped Yi Chunfeng's life and death. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1008. True Kirin Seal. The black-clothed old man roared out loud. His hands rapidly twisted, condensing into a giant seal of light. And within this seal of light, a massive number of Tao patterns multiplied, transforming into an extraordinary Kirin god-beast. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test bang. The true Kirin seal struck out, causing the air to explode. The terrifying Kirin seal swept through everything, like a Kirin destroying the world as it bombarded Yi Chunfeng. Empyrean bloodline burned blue sky, seal feeling that the black-clothed old man's true Kirin seal had completely locked onto him. Yi Chunfeng couldn't avoid it. He immediately ignited his Empyrean bloodline and crazily drew in a massive amount of the power of the heavens to fuse into his body. He deduced the meaning of the great Tao and condensed the blue sky seal, to strike out. Bang! The two great palms collided, exploding with endless Tao light. A terrifying strength swept out in all directions like raging waves. Yi Chunfeng ignited his Empyrean bloodline and condensed the blue sky seal. Although it was terrifying, the black-clothed old man's strength far surpassed his. After the two palms collided for 2 breaths of time, the blue sky seal shattered. However, Yi Chunfeng used these 2 breaths of time to dodge into the void. In the instant that Yi Chunfeng dodged, the black-clothed old man approached him at an even faster speed. His wrinkled old hand grabbed at Yi Chunfeng's chest, piercing through it. Speed after image. After piercing through Yi Chunfeng's chest, the black-clothed old man wasn't happy. Instead, he was alarmed. He discovered that what he pierced through wasn't Yi Chunfeng's true body, but a speed after image. Vertigo technique after using the cloud-stepping boots to deceive the black-clothed old man. Yi Chunfeng's soul completely erupted, forming a dizzying force that was like a heavy hammer. It ruthlessly smashed into the black-clothed old man's spiritual sea, causing his soul to tremble. Dragon bloodline burn, true dragon transformation. Seizing this opportunity, Yi Chunfeng ignited the dragon blood in his entire body. His soul power surged, and his entire body transformed into a blood dragon whose might shook the heavens. He cracked open his bloody maw, and with a murderous aura, he attacked the black-clothed old man. After the black-robed old man regained his senses, he quickly put up a defense. His aged hands moved rapidly as he struck out multiple Tao patterns. He attacked Yi Chunfeng's true dragon form at close range. However, the power of Yi Chunfeng's true dragon transformation was too terrifying. It posed a great threat to the black-clothed old man. Under round after round of ferocious attacks, the black-clothed old man was injured. A trace of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. 3 heads and 6 arms despite being injured. The black-robed old man threw his head back and roared. Demonic energy gushed out from his body, as if he was standing in the middle of a vast ocean. His terrifying demonic energy soared to the heavens as he transformed into his 3-headed, 6-armed form. Waving his 6 arms, he forcibly blocked the attack of the true dragon transformation. Boom! The sound like the explosion of a star rang out. The black-clothed old man, with terrifying strength, finally shattered the true dragon transformation. However, Yi Chunfeng's physical defense was too strong. The terrifying remaining power only caused him minor injuries. Interesting. I didn't expect that with your strength as a Class 4 combat beast emperor, you could actually be on par with me. You really surprised me. The black-clothed old man looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was bleeding from the corner of his mouth and was not seriously injured. His expression became extremely gloomy. Heavenly venerable bloodline, divine demon bloodline, fusion. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the churning blood in his body. He controlled the rapid fusion of the 2 bloodlines and raised his strength to the limit. Just as Yi Chunfeng's strength was rising steadily, the 8th prince suddenly unleashed his Tao treasure, the blue ox seal. It transformed into a lifelike blue ox, crushing through the void as it charged toward Yi Chunfeng. Tao of 2 extremes of life and death. As the green ox seal attacked, several great Tao intents gushed out from Yi Chunfeng's body, transforming into a life and death Tao disc, and fiercely bombarded the green ox seal. Crack! The green ox seal couldn't withstand Yi Chunfeng's Tao of 2 extremes of life and death. It immediately shattered, and the entire seal was smashed hundreds of meters away. Just as the 8th prince, whose expression changed drastically, was about to withdraw the green ox seal, Xingluo's doppelganger approached him and interweaved a large number of star patterns to attack the 8th prince. Although Xingluo's doppelganger was a Tao treasure, its power was only slightly weaker than the Gu Dao treasure. It was comparable to a Class 6 combat beast emperor expert. Under his full attack, the 8th prince's attack was instantly suppressed. Die! When the black-clothed old man saw that the 8th prince was in danger, his eyes revealed a strong, fierce look. 6 pitch-black spears, which were middle-grade Dao artifacts, appeared in his hands. They were like 6 dragons out of the sea, rolling up the void and stabbing toward Yi Chenfeng. Sword puppet, defense. Seeing that the void was constantly being torn apart under the black-clothed old man's attack, Yi Chenfeng immediately ordered the sword puppet to block in front of him, using its body to block the shocking spears. Vertigo technique. When a large number of flames splashed on the surface of the sword puppet, Yi Chenfeng's soul power exploded, forming a powerful vertigo force that continued to bombard the black-clothed old man. Although the vertigo had little effect on the black-clothed old man, it had more or less affected him to a certain extent. Qinquan sword formation, slash. Seizing this fleeting opportunity, 18 Qinquan swords flew out of his body with ear-piercing sounds, attacking the black-clothed old man as fast as lightning. Feeling the threat of the Qinquan sword formation, the black-clothed old man quickly waved his 6 arms, and a large amount of Dao intense burst out from the black spears, like a rushing river, shaking the 18 Qinquan swords. Sword soul. Fusion. The 18 Qinquan swords were repelled by the black-clothed old man, and Yi Chenfeng controlled the sword soul to merge into the Qinquan sword formation, increasing the might of the sword formation, and continued to attack the black-clothed old man. Sword soul. You actually condensed a sword soul. The black-clothed old man's pupils contracted to the most dangerous pinholes, revealing a trace of shock, and the killing intent in his heart became even stronger. A person who condensed a sword soul was definitely a genius among geniuses, a monstrous monster. As long as this person was given enough time to grow, he would definitely grow into an extremely terrifying existence. In ancient times, the Kirin kingdom had also become enemies with a human expert who had condensed a sword soul, and in the end, paid an extremely painful price to finally kill him. The Kirin kingdom's overall strength was slightly weaker than the Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom, and the Octahead Divine Kingdom, to a certain extent, was also related to this sword cultivator expert. Boss, hang in there. I will tear this 2-headed dragon apart immediately to help you. Seeing that Yi Chenfeng was having a hard time fighting the black-clothed old man, the divine beast of chaos roared and continued to use its inherited magic to attack the 2-headed dragon, shattering the black dragon scales that covered the dragon's body, severely injuring its body, and forcing it to retreat step by step. Blood flowed out of its body like rain. Although Kong Sungqin and the others did not have an overwhelming advantage, the Kirin kingdom, the East Sea Palace, and the Yu family did not have any advantage at all. The fierce battle became more and more intense, and the Yu family was destroyed beyond recognition. 2/3 of the buildings were destroyed, and Yu Chan and the others' hearts were bleeding. They regretted starting a war in the Yu family. Even if Yi Chenfeng was killed in the end, the Yu family would not be able to recover without a few years' time. True Qilin Seal. Seeing that the situation was going out of control, the black-clothed old man who was fighting fiercely with Yi Chenfeng and facing the Cosmo sword formation lost his patience. He moved his 6 arms together and consumed a large amount of his half-demon power at all costs to condense 6 Qilin Seals. Like 6 furious Qilins, they broke through the Cosmo sword formation and attacked Yi Chenfeng. Not good. Feeling the horror of the true Qilin Seal, Yi Chenfeng's expression changed slightly, and he quickly dodged with the cloud-stepping boots. However, in the instant that Yi Chenfeng dodged, the 6 true Qilin Seals exploded, forming a power that could destroy the heavens and the earth. It slammed heavily into Yi Chenfeng's body, sending him flying. His body, which was comparable to a high-grade Taoist instrument, was covered with blood. A large amount of blood spurted out of his mouth, and it was stained with blood. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1009. Kid, you have lost your advantage. Give me your life. The black-robed old man's eyes were filled with murderous intent. His 6 arms moved at the same time, holding 6 pitch-black spears. He pierced them towards the severely injured Yi Chen-feng, trying to kill him. By Commandant, don't kill him. Let him live. I want to torture him to death. The 8th prince, who had transformed into his 3-headed and 6-armed form to defend against the ferocious attacks of Xingluo's doppelganger, was overjoyed when he saw Yi Chen-feng fall to the ground. However, this distraction gave Xingluo's doppelganger the opportunity. The doppelganger suddenly closed in and attacked him continuously. When the 8th prince used his techniques to defend against Xingluo's doppelganger suddenly exerted strength and tore through his defense. He used his shoulder to hit the 8th prince's chest and sent him flying. The sound of bones breaking rang out from his chest. He spat out a mouthful of blood towards the sky, and his entire body was sent flying backwards. With his sternum shattered, the 8th prince hurriedly swallowed a medicinal pill to stabilize his injuries. He quickly waved his 6 arms and let out a roar like that of a dragon or a tiger as he continued to fight Xingluo's doppelganger. However, Xingluo's doppelganger's defense was too strong. The roaring roars released by the 8th prince could not hurt his body at all. His attacks continued to be suppressed. You want to kill me? You are too weak. Yi Chen-feng did not care about his injuries. He moved quickly with his cloud-stepping boots. He created strange afterimages in midair and dodged the black-robed old man's 6 shocking spear lights. He dodged them in midair. I want to see how many times you can dodge them. The black-clothed old man raised his attack speed to the maximum. The 6 pitch-black spears attacked at their maximum. Streaks of incomparably sharp spear lights completely sealed off Yi Chen-feng's dodging space, making it impossible for him to dodge or hide. You forced me to do this. Life spirit spell, burning with his life hanging by a thread, Yi Chen-feng no longer hesitated. He instantly burned 5,000 years of his lifespan. A majestic life force burst out from his body, instantly suppressing his injuries and propelling his strength to rise steadily. Soon, he surpassed level 5 Beast Emperor, level 6 Beast Emperor, and reached the limit of level 6 Beast Emperor. He controlled the universe sword formation that was flying at high speed to block the black-clothed old man's killing move. And what kind of supernatural power is this? Sensing that Yi Chen-feng's realm had reached the peak of level 6 combat Beast Emperor in an instant, the black-clothed old man's eyes widened, as if he had seen a ghost. Such a divine ability was unimaginable. He had never even heard of it, let alone seen it. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Gu Fanxing, kill them all. With his strength rising sharply, Yi Chen-feng spat 2 mouthfuls of blood essence into the 2 Gu Dao treasures, increasing the power of the 2 Gu Dao treasures. They attacked the black-clothed old man from both sides. With Yi Chen-feng's strength rising sharply, he controlled the 2 Gu Dao treasures to attack with even greater power. He constantly tore apart the spear lights that were coming at him like 2 meteors, attacking the black-clothed old man continuously, greatly restricting his attacks and bringing him great pressure. Damn, how did this brat have so many tricks up his sleeve? For the first time, the black-clothed old man felt pressure from Yi Chen-feng. He quickly opened his mouth and spat out an ancient seal of a beast head, blocking the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and Gu Fanxing's attacks. You had your fun just now. Now it's my turn. The life spirit spell could only increase one's strength for a limited time. Yi Chen-feng didn't waste any time. He stepped on his sword steps and flew towards the black-clothed old man in a flash, initiating an attack for the first time. Cosmic sword formation, strangulation. With a thought, Yi Chen-feng controlled the wailing Qianquan swords to spin rapidly. Like a howling sword tornado, they charged towards the black-robed old man. As Yi Chen-feng's strength increased, the might of the Cosmos sword formation increased by several times. Under the attack of the Cosmos sword formation, cracks appeared on the 6 middle-grade Dao artifact black spears in the hands of the black-clothed old man. His entire body was trapped in the Cosmos sword formation, unable to escape. A large amount of blood seeped out from the sword wounds on the surface of his body. I didn't expect an ant like you to be able to hurt me. Feeling more and more wounds on his body, the black-clothed old man felt extremely humiliated. He ignited his bloodline power and transformed into his strongest beast soul form. His entire body was as strong as steel, and his surging demonic powers caused the entire void to tremble. The current you is no longer a match for me. Hand over your life obediently. Although the difference in strength between a Class 6 combat Beast Emperor and Nirvana was like heaven and earth, the two bloodline powers and close to 100 million pounds of strength completely made up for the difference in strength. In addition to the position of the cosmic sword formation, Yi Chen-Feng had several trump cards in his hands. He was completely capable of killing Nirvana's black-clothed old man. Break. The black-clothed old man, whose strength had increased tremendously, roared and exploded with a shocking power of Tao intent, breaking the cosmic sword formation. At this moment, a void light flashed in front of him. Yi Chen-Feng was approaching rapidly with the Emperor Sky sword in his hand. Die! The black-clothed old man's 6 arms waved instinctively. The extremely sharp spear radiance pierced towards Yi Chen-Feng, who was close to him, and penetrated his body. It was the speed shadow again. Feeling no resistance from his 6 spears, the black-clothed old man knew that he didn't pierce Yi Chen-Feng's body at all. He had been deceived by the speed shadow again. Vertigo art. Relying on his absolute speed, Yi Chen-Feng circled behind the black-clothed old man. He continued to control his soul to form a vertigo force and bombarded the black-clothed old man, causing his reaction to be slightly delayed. In a battle between experts, the slightest mistake would be fatal. Boundless heavenly sword. When the black-clothed old man dispelled the vertigo force in his soul sea, Yi Chen-Feng deduced the power of Tao intent to the extreme. He slashed out with his sword, which was like a surging river. The terrifying Tao intent split the void in half and slashed ruthlessly on the black-clothed old man's body. The old man, who couldn't dodge in time, fell to the ground from midair. Thump! After witnessing the black-clothed old man being injured by Yi Chen-Feng's sword, the 8th prince, whose attacks were completely restrained by Xingluo's doppelganger, felt a tinge of uneasiness in his prideful heart. If the black-clothed old man was killed, then with the strength that Yi Chen-Feng had displayed, he would definitely be able to turn the tide and influence the development of the situation. He would definitely not be able to escape from his evil hands. Thinking of this, the 8th prince broke out in a cold sweat. While dodging the attacks of Xingluo's doppelganger, he took out a dark green jade tablet covered with ancient Tao patterns from his interspatial ring and quickly crushed it. It's over. Let me send you to hell. Locking his eyes on the injured black-clothed old man who had fallen to the ground, Yi Chen-Feng quickly summoned the 9-dragon jade annulus. He continuously injected powerful soul power and life force into the 9-dragon jade annulus, activating the power of this supreme-grade holy treasure. Roar! Roar! A series of deafening dragon roars sounded. A ferocious dragon that contained the power to destroy the world flew out of the 9-dragon jade annulus. It opened its terrifying mouth and bit at the black-clothed old man who had smashed through the ground. What kind of treasure was this? Feeling that the power of the ferocious dragon was beyond his imagination, the black-clothed old man's expression changed drastically. He took out several defensive treasures without hesitation and used them to block in front of him to resist the attack of the 9-dragon jade annulus. As a Nirvana expert of the Divine Nation, the black-clothed old man had many powerful trump cards and 2 defensive treasures. However, the 9-dragon jade annulus was a supreme-grade holy treasure. Under the amplification of powerful soul power and life force, Yi Chen-Feng unleashed 10% of the attack power of the 9-dragon jade annulus. It directly broke through the 2 defensive treasures and several fragments of the Gu Dao treasure and fiercely bombarded the black-clothed old man's body. Boom! There was a loud explosion like a meteorite falling to the ground. Endless white light illuminated the world. The terrifying power caused the entire Yu family's old house to tremble violently. Crisscrossing cracks spread in all directions. The black-clothed old man, who had been attacked by the nine-dragon jade annulus, was blown to pieces along with several defensive treasures by the ferocious dragon. Not even his bones were left. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1010. Goo, Nirvana's by Commandant, is dead. Witnessing the scene of the strongest black-clothed old man being killed by Yi Chanfeng with the help of the nine-dragon jade annulus, the eighth prince's throat rolled, and he was scared silly. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, test Hemingway map. Yugu and the masters of the Kirin Kingdom were even more scared and trembling. They didn't expect Yi Chanfeng to have such a trump card, which directly killed Nirvana's black-clothed old man. Now it's your turn. Yi Chanfeng quickly drank a bottle of returning heaven water and looked coldly at the ashen-faced eighth prince, who was completely suppressed by Xingluo's doppelganger, and said with killing intent, Don't mess around. Uncle Wong is already on the way. He is a master of Nirvana. If you hurt me, my Uncle Wong will definitely turn you into ashes. The eighth prince was no longer as aggressive as before. While dodging, he brought out the masters of the Kirin Kingdom to put pressure on Yi Chanfeng. Haha, I thought you were an ambitious person, but now it seems that you are just a coward. Yi Chanfeng laughed and said sarcastically, I already have a death feud with the Kirin Kingdom. It makes no difference to me whether I kill you or not, but you are so annoying, I can't be at ease if I don't kill you. With that, Yi Chanfeng and the sword puppet attacked the eighth prince together, trying to quickly subdue him and take control of the situation. Stop! Suddenly, a thunderous roar sounded. Although the terrible sound came from 100 miles away, when it reached the ears of Yi Chanfeng and the others, it made their eardrums bulge and hurt. Uncle Wong, help! My commandant has been killed by them. Now they want to kill me. Hearing the loud noise from the sky, the desperate eighth prince saw the light of hope. He used all his strength and shouted for help. No one can save you. Just obediently accept your fate. Although Yi Chanfeng used the life spirit technique to kill the masters of Nirvana, the difference in strength between Nirvana and Nirvana was even greater. Yi Chanfeng was definitely not a match. Before the masters of the Kirin Kingdom arrived, Yi Chanfeng used his absolute power to condense a giant hand of Tao, which turned into a blue ox, and grabbed the fiercely charging ox seal in his hand and crushed it into pieces. Come over 100 swords shot out from under Yi Chanfeng's feet, tearing apart the defense of the eighth prince, who had turned pale with fright. Several bloody holes appeared on his body. In the next moment, Yi Chanfeng directly appeared behind the eighth prince and controlled the sky demon rope to bind the eighth prince's body. Then, he pressed his right hand on the eighth prince's head, controlling his life and death. Kid, how dare you? If you know what's good for you, quickly let Shuchen go, or I'll make you beg for death. A tall and sturdy middle-aged man, wearing a long robe with a Qilin pattern, a crown on his head, and a pair of python-scale boots appeared in the air above the Yu family's old residence, which was filled with a strong smell of blood. He glared at Yi Chanfeng with his bell-sized eyes and warned loudly, You are not allowed to enter the Yu family. What a terrifying aura. Nirvana's masters are indeed not people I can fight against. This was the first time Yi Chanfeng had seen a Nirvana master. Just the aura he released made Yi Chanfeng feel suffocated, as if he couldn't fight back. However, Yi Chanfeng had a treasure like the universe mirror. Even if he couldn't win in the end, he could hide in the universe mirror to protect himself. However, Yu Nichang's situation wasn't good. She was still in a deranged state, as if she had a split personality. He had to think of a way to negotiate with the middle-aged man. Otherwise, Yu Nichang would be in danger. Kid, didn't you hear what I said? I told you to let him go. The middle-aged man saw that Yi Chanfeng wasn't moved, and the anger on his cold face became even stronger. I can let him go, but you have to cripple your own cultivation first. Yi Chanfeng resisted the pressure that was constantly attacking him and said with gritted teeth, Presumptuous. After hearing Yi Chanfeng's conditions, a surge of anger erupted from his body and attacked Yi Chanfeng with earth-shattering force. Yi Chenfeng's legs trembled and his straight back bent. Do you know how many years it has been since someone dared to speak to me like this? You really have guts. If it wasn't for his fear of the eighth prince, he would have already lost control of his anger and killed Yi Chenfeng. Crack! Yi Chenfeng's strength erupted and resisted the terrible pressure. His 5 fingers exerted a little force and directly crushed the eighth prince's skull. The great pain made the eighth prince howl like a pig being slaughtered. A large amount of blood flowed out and dyed his delicate face red. My patience is limited. Let us go, and I will return him to you intact. Otherwise, you can wait to collect his corpse. Yi Chenfeng looked at the middle-aged man whose eyes were twitching violently and whose face was as gloomy as water, and said coldly, Uncle Qinling, save me. I don't want to die. Feeling the murderous aura emitted from Yi Chenfeng's body, the eighth prince was really frightened. He gave up his dignity and shouted at Qinling of Gojoseon for help. Fine, I'll let you go, but you have to promise not to hurt Shuchen again. Otherwise, I will kill you and your 9 generations no matter what. Qinling of Gojoseon's eyes flashed as he warned coldly. Come, let's get out of here first. The appearance of Qinling of Gojoseon completely disrupted Yi Chenfeng's plan. It made him give up the idea of slaughtering the experts of the 3 major forces. He wanted to take Yu Nikhang, who was in chaos, away from this troublesome place. Kong Sungqin and the others also abandoned their enemies and quickly approached Yi Chenfeng. Don't come near me. When the sword puppet approached Yu Nikhang, who was out of control and wanted to take her away, a force even more terrifying than Qinling of Gojoseon was released from Yu Nichang's chaotic body. It fiercely bombarded the sword puppet's body and instantly depleted 2/3 of its energy. What happened to Nichang's body? Where did this terrifying force come from? Feeling the rapid depletion of the sword puppet's energy, Yi Chenfeng's expression changed slightly and revealed a look of shock. I'll count to 3. If you don't leave by then, don't blame me for being impolite. Qinling of Gojoseon saw Yi Chenfeng and the others surrounding Yu Nikhang and didn't leave immediately. I've changed my mind. We'll leave after my wife returns to normal. During this time, if you dare to come close to us, I'll immediately kill you. Since he couldn't take Yu Nikhang away in a short time, Yi Chenfeng had no choice but to change his mind. Do you really think I don't dare to kill you? Qinling of Gojoseon was so angry that his whole body trembled. The flames in his eyes seemed to be able to melt Yi Chenfeng. Of course you dare to kill me, but you should also know the consequences of killing me. If you don't want him to die, then obediently do as I say. Otherwise, next year today will be his end. Yi Chenfeng tightly grasped the top of the eighth prince's head, threatening Qinling of Gojoseon with his life. Sure enough, heroes come from the young. Qinling of Gojoseon took a deep breath, suppressed the anger in his heart, and said, Okay, I'll give you 2 more hours. If you don't let him go after 2 hours, then I won't give you another chance. Whatever. Yi Chenfeng responded coldly. While controlling the power of the God-Eater brain to radiate into Yu Nichang's body to check her physical condition, he also controlled the God-Eater brain to search the eighth prince's soul. He wanted to obtain the cultivation method of the 3 heads and 6 arms from his soul. Well, the power of the God-Eater brain was shattered. When the power of the God-Eater brain radiated into Yu Nichang's body, it was immediately shattered by the mysterious power surging in her body. This made Yi Chenfeng's expression change slightly. He couldn't imagine what had happened to Yu Nikhang. Just as Yi Chenfeng was distracted, Qinling of Gojoseon, who had been secretly observing the changes in Yi Chenfeng's expression and waiting for the right time, made his move. His body flashed slightly, and, as if teleporting, he appeared beside Yi Chenfeng. His fist, which was intertwined with innate Tao patterns, bombarded Yi Chenfeng's head. This attack was very sudden, but Yi Chenfeng reacted faster. He immediately lifted the eighth prince and used his body to block Qinling of Gojoseon's fatal punch. Something was wrong. When Qinling of Gojoseon retracted his fist, a large clone split out from his body and exploded with amazing power. It fiercely bombarded Yi Chenfeng's body and directly sent him flying, saving the eighth prince, whose face was covered in blood. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1011. Go to Hell. 9 Purple lightning strikes Xinling of Gojoseon through the surviving 8th prince to the Kirin Kingdom's experts for protection. With a roar, 9 bucket-sized purple lightning bolts shot out from his body and tore through the void, attacking Yi Chunfeng and the others. Watermark advertisement. Test watermark advertisement. Test don't resist. Xinling of Gojoseon's strength was too terrifying. Yi Chunfeng couldn't contend against him even after using all his means. He had no choice but to teleport everyone into the universe mirror. Boom, 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 boom. 9 spatial black holes appeared in the space where Yi Chunfeng and the others were. The terrifying lightning bolts were like frenzied snakes that filled the sky. They danced wantonly and destroyed everything in the space. And where are they? Why are they all gone? Seeing that Yi Chunfeng and the others had mysteriously disappeared, Xinling of Gojoseon and the others widened their eyes and revealed intense shock. Spatial treasure. That kid has a spatial treasure. Xinling of Gojoseon lifted his brows. When he thought of the reason why Yi Chunfeng and the others had mysteriously disappeared, his eyes revealed a fiery expression. If he could obtain a spatial treasure, it would greatly enhance his foundation. Furthermore, he had a feeling that Yi Chunfeng's spatial treasure wasn't simple and might be hiding a huge secret. Buzz! Buzz! Xinling of Gojoseon's soul spirit burst out in his mind and covered the surroundings, searching for the location of the universe mirror. Other than having terrifying strength, Xinling of Gojoseon's soul spirit was equally terrifying after being tempered by the heaven's punishment. When he released his soul spirit to sense, he locked onto the hidden space of the universe mirror. His eyes shot out rays of sharp light. Latest update. Break! Xinling of Gojoseon shouted. A Dao pattern longsword with a large number of ancient Dao patterns and a huge gem embedded on the sword hilt appeared in his hand. It was a high-grade Dao artifact, Dao pattern longsword. He thrust the sword towards the hidden space of the universe mirror. Buzz! When the universe mirror was attacked by Xinling of Gojoseon, the void trembled and the surrounding space immediately shattered. A large number of cracks were spreading out at a speed visible to the naked eye. Such a sturdy defense. When Xinling of Gojoseon saw that the universe mirror didn't budge after being attacked by his sword and that the restrictions weren't damaged, he lifted his brows. He wasn't surprised, but delighted. The more heaven-defying the universe mirror was, the more. Furthermore, he believed that with his strength and trump cards, he would definitely be able to break through the defense of the universe realm. 9 purple thunder strikes. King, Xinling roared. Large amounts of thunder Dao patterns appeared on his body, forming a thunder Dao diagram behind him. Large amounts of Dao patterns formed dark purple thunderbolts, merging into the Dao pattern longsword, increasing the longsword's power. Sword after sword attacked the Qinquan realm cultivator. Boom! The terrifying sword radiance was accompanied by the deafening sound of thunder. Xinling of Gojoseon had completely integrated into the Thunder Dao diagram. He brandished the high-grade Dao artifact, Dao pattern longsword, and attacked the universe mirror ferociously. He was determined to break through the defense of the universe mirror and enter it. He would then kill Yi Chunfeng and the others and seize the spatial treasure that he coveted. Chunfeng, can your spatial treasure withstand Xinling of Gojoseon's attack? When they heard the continuous explosions in the universe mirror, Kong Sungqin and the others revealed a trace of worry. Once the universe mirror was broken, Nirvana would be able to kill them all with her strength. Rest assured, seniors, Xinling of Gojoseon might be powerful, but he still can't break the defense of the universe mirror. Yi Chunfeng said confidently. However, he was worried about Yunikang. Yunikang might be protected by a mysterious power and was difficult to approach, but Xinling of Gojoseon was a prince of the Kirin kingdom after all. His means and trump cards were far superior to Yi Qinfeng's. True Kirin seal after deducing the Thunder Dao intent to the extreme and ferociously attacking for 30 minutes. Qianling of Gojosian realized that the universe mirror's defense was unbreakable. His expression finally changed. How is this possible? What level of spatial treasure is this? How can its defense be so terrifying? Not to mention a high-grade Dao artifact. Even a supreme-grade Dao artifact would be destroyed by the previous round of attacks. However, the universe mirror wasn't damaged at all. Could this be a saint-grade treasure? When he thought of this, Qianling of Gojosian's heart burned even more fervently. He rapidly deduced the Dao intent and quickly condensed even more powerful giant palm imprints to attack the universe mirror. Although he had caused the space around the universe mirror to collapse, he couldn't break through the universe mirror. This made him frown. He wasn't as calm as he was at the beginning and felt a little troubled. Rupture Pearl explode. In order to obtain the universe mirror, Qianling of Gojosian wasn't stingy with his means. He took out 3 pitch-black pearls that contained a terrifying power and quickly threw them at the universe mirror. Boom, boom, boom. 3 space-shattering sounds were heard. The power of the 3 Rupture Pearls explosion caused the entire space to collapse. The terrifying power destroyed all the Yu family's buildings. Crisscrossing fissures appeared on the ground. Seeing the Yu family's old mansion turn into ruins, Yu Chan and the others' hearts were bleeding. However, they couldn't do anything and didn't dare to stop it. They could only curse Yi Chunfeng in their hearts and curse him to die quickly. If Yi Chunfeng didn't die this time, they knew very well that the Yu family and the EC Palace would be destroyed. The entire situation of the Great Eastern Continent would change because of Yi Chunfeng. What? This is fine? When the explosive power released by the 3 Rupture Pearls dissipated, Qianling of Gojosian was shocked to discover that the universe mirror's defensive restrictions still showed no signs of cracking apart from its position being slightly shifted. Damn it. What kind of spatial treasure is this? Even the Central World doesn't have treasures of this level. Where'd he get it from? The universe mirror's defenses were beyond Qianling of Gojosian's imagination. Helpless, he immediately ordered everyone present to attack the hidden space of the universe mirror. He wanted to gather everyone's strength and tear apart the universe mirror's defenses. Boom, boom, boom. Intense explosions rang out continuously. The universe mirror withstood everyone's storm-like attacks, but it still wasn't damaged in the slightest. Just as Qianling of Gojosian was gradually losing his patience, Yu Nikhang, who had fallen into madness and was being devoured by a mysterious power, let out an earth-shattering roar. The terrifying roar pierced through the 9 heavens, shaking the souls of many weaker combat beast emperors. Large amounts of blood flowed out of their 7 orifices as they directly fell to the ground from midair. What kind of power is this? When Yu Nikhang let out that roar, Qianling of Gojosian's soul trembled. This made his expression change as he looked at Yu Nikhang, who was in the chaotic space, and thought of a plan to force Yi Chunfeng and the others out. Brat, since you don't want to come out, then don't blame me for being impolite. After saying that, Qianling of Gojosian stepped on the void and approached Yu Nikhang. He wanted to capture her and use her life to threaten Yi Chunfeng, forcing him out. Don't come over. Covering her head with both hands, Yu Nikhang, who had fallen into madness, sensed someone approaching. She let out a painful cry and warned. But King Qianling didn't care about her warning. He stretched out his right hand that was as white as a woman's and grabbed Yu Nishang's shoulder with lightning speed, wanting to capture her. Feeling that Yu Nikhang was in danger, Yi Chunfeng's heart tightened. He quickly left the universe realm. He wanted to continue holding the 8th prince, who had just been rescued, and use him to exchange for Yu Nikhang. Suddenly, a powerful force erupted from Yu Nichang's body. Like a violent tide, it fiercely bombarded Qianling of Gojosian's body, shattering his defense and sending him flying. And such a strange scene also shocked everyone, making them feel as if they were in a dream. Mobile reading site. Book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, You can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 10-12. What the hell is going on? How did that woman injure Uncle Wong? Uncle Wong is a Nirvana expert. Could that woman be a Nirvana heavenly realm expert? The eighth prince gulped as he witnessed the scene in front of him. He looked as if he had seen a ghost. Not only was the eighth prince dumbfounded, but everyone present was also dumbfounded, especially Yu-chan, Yu-gu, and the others who knew Yu-Nikhang the best. They were even more shocked. No matter how hard they racked their brains, they couldn't figure out what had happened to Yu-Nikhang. How did her strength suddenly increase to such an extent? In addition to being shocked, Yu-chan and the others also felt some regret. If they had known that the situation would develop to this extent, they would never have sought refuge with the Kirin Kingdom. Whether it was Yi Chanfeng or Yu-Nikhang, they had seen the glorious future of the Yu family. However, it was too late for regrets. They had no way out and could only brace themselves and continue forward. Nikhang, what's wrong with you? Yi Chanfeng asked telepathically as he looked at Yu-Nikhang, who had sunk into pain and was in a state of confusion. He felt as if his heart was being stabbed by a knife. However, Yu-Nikhang was completely in a state of confusion. Yi Chenfeng's voice couldn't wake her up at all. True Qilin Seal Qianling of Gojoseon took a deep breath and suppressed the surging blood in his body. He quickly formed a seal with his hands, and a lifelike Qilin rushed out of his body. It roared angrily and carried a terrifying destructive power. It shattered the void and bombarded Yu-Nikhang. When the terrifying True Qilin seal bombarded Yu-Nichang's body, Yu-Nikhang once again let out a long roar. A power that didn't belong to her erupted and fiercely collided with the True Qilin seal. It directly shattered the True Qilin seal. Nikhang must be hiding a big secret. Seeing the scene of Yu-Nikhang forcefully breaking Qianling of Gojoseon's attack, Yi Chenfeng felt that Yu-Nikhang must have a shocking secret. Once this secret was unraveled, Yu-Nichang's strength would increase exponentially. However, Yi Chenfeng wasn't sure if unraveling this secret would be good or bad for Yu-Nikhang. Good. Today is an eye-opener for me. King Qianling said with a gloomy face, I didn't expect the small eastern continent to have so many secrets. But this is even better. If I capture you and get your secrets, it might help me take the last step to pass the world-ending heavenly punishment and break through to Nirvana heavenly realm. As he spoke, Qianling of Gojoseon held the Tao pattern longsword in his hand and weaved out streaks of mercury-like sword light to attack Yu-Nikhang. He wanted to break her defense and severely injure her. While Qianling of Gojoseon was attacking with all his strength, Yi Chenfeng suddenly approached with sword steps. He controlled the surging life force and remaining soul power in his body and injected them all into the 9-dragon jade wall. He attacked Qianling of Gojoseon at close range. Howl! The world-destroying mad dragon flew out of the 9-dragon jade wall and roared. Like a spatial crack that tore through the void, it bombarded Qianling of Gojoseon's back. Although Qianling of Gojoseon was a master in Nirvana and was extremely powerful, the world-destroying mad dragon still had a chance to injure him. Swish! As the world-destroying mad dragon approached, a large number of Tao patterns appeared under Qianling of Gojoseon's feet. In the blink of an eye, he transformed into several afterimages in midair and mysteriously disappeared on the spot. He dodged the world-destroying mad dragon's fatal attack. Then, the astonishingly fast Qianling of Gojoseon appeared behind Yi Chenfeng and slashed at the weakened Yi Chenfeng with his Tao pattern longsword, forcing him to hide in the universe mirror again. When Qianling of Gojoseon attacked Yi Chenfeng, the Tao pattern swords that he weaved out were completely shattered by the mysterious power surging in Yu-Nichang's body. They didn't injure Yu-Nikhang at all. What are you all doing? Attack together and injure her with all your might. After forcing Yi Chenfeng into the universe mirror, Qianling of Gojoseon immediately shouted at the Hemingway map, Yu-Gu, and the others. Sigh. Yu-Gu, Yu-chan, and the others looked at each other. Under the intimidation of Qianling of Gojoseon, they had no choice but to use their powerful attacks to attack Unikang. Everyone's attacks became more and more intense. They tore the void apart and engulfed Unikang, who was screaming in pain. However, the mysterious power surging in Unichang's body was too terrifying. Qianling of Gojoseon gathered everyone's strength and still couldn't tear it apart. Damn it. I can't break through the spatial treasure's defense, but can I break through this young lady's defense as well? After the fruitless attacks, Qianling of Gojoseon's self-esteem suffered a blow. In order to severely injure and capture Unikang, he burned his powerful bloodline power and transformed into a Qilin. He then executed the 3 heads and 6 arms and turned into his strongest form. I don't believe that I can't break through your defense. Qianling of Gojoseon held 6 powerful Dao treasures and deduced the Thunder Dao intent and Sword Dao intent to the extreme. He condensed the Thunder Dao diagram and the Sword Dao diagram and attacked Unikang with all his strength. Under his strongest attack, Unichang's body's defense started to crack. Streaks of extremely sharp sword light mixed with the Sword Dao pattern cut through Unichang's delicate skin and hurt her body. Swoosh! Swoosh! After her body was injured, Unichang's eyes suddenly turned into a terrifying blood-red color. She suddenly swung her long hair that was like a waterfall. It tore through the chaotic void like sharp steel needles. It pierced through everyone's attacks and attacked the 3-headed, 6-armed Qianling of Gojoseon. Purple Thunder 9 strikes the long hair that was fused with the mysterious power attacked. Qianling of Gojoseon didn't dare to be careless. He controlled the Thunder Dao diagram and turned it into 9 streaks of world-extinguishing purple thunder. He swung his Thunder Dao diagram and collided with Unichang's black waterfall-like hair. Qilin's howl, the purple Thunder 9 strikes blocked Unichang's counterattack. Qianling of Gojoseon's 3 heads let out the Qilin's howl. The terrifying sound waves gathered together and rushed forward like a long river. It was endless and caused the space within a 1-mile radius to distort. Howl! After being attacked by Qianling of Gojoseon's sound waves, Unikang immediately felt as if her head was being pricked by needles. She covered her temples tightly with both hands and let out a long howl that pierced through clouds and cracked rocks. It fiercely collided with the Qilin's howl in midair. The terrifying sound waves shook the Hemingway map, Yugu, and the others' soul spirits. They quickly retreated. Some of the Yu family's experts even had their heads ruptured from the collision of the 2 sound waves. They died on the spot. Gudao Treasure, Wanjin Mountain. Unichang's strength was beyond Qianling of Gojoseon's imagination. He quickly opened his mouth, and a small dark golden mountain flew out of his mouth and appeared above Unichang's head. It carried a suppressive force of a few 100 million kilograms and bombarded Unikang. It affected her energy. Boom! Wanjin Mountain fell, and the void above Unichang's head immediately distorted. The surging power surged in all directions like thousands of soldiers and horses. Although Unikang controlled the mysterious power in her body to resist the Wanjin Mountain's destructive suppression, the Wanjin Mountain still dispersed her attack. Blue Sky's sword art seizing this opportunity, Qianling of Gojoseon's entire body fused with the Dao pattern longsword. He fused the power of the 2 Dao diagrams and pierced towards Unichang's body like a divine sword that pierced through hell. Buzz! 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 After receiving Qianling of Gojoseon's all-out attack, a terrifying power emanated from Unichang's body and resisted Qianling of Gojoseon's sure-kill attack. The terrifying recoil kept tearing the void apart. Demon blood needle Qianling of Gojoseon endured the immense recoil and the pain from the tearing of the skin on his arm. He didn't retreat. 2 Gu Dao treasure grade black needles that were stained with mysterious blood flew out of his mouth. They shot towards Unichang's eyes from both sides, forcing Unikang to dodge instinctively. When she dodged, she immediately dispersed the attack. Qianling of Gojoseon's 6 arms fused together and stabbed the Dao pattern longsword with all his strength. It broke through the mysterious power, surging in Yu Nichang's body and pierced through her body and heart meridian, cutting off her life force. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on Bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. You'll be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 10:13. Nikhang. Yi Chanfeng, who was in the universe realm, noticed that Yu Nichang's body was penetrated by Qianling of Gojoseon. His eyes immediately turned blood red, and he left the universe realm without caring about his weak body. Watermark advertisement test, watermark advertisement test, but the moment he left the universe realm, he felt a terrifying power awaken in Yu Nichang's body. It bombarded the malevolent Qianling of Gojoseon's body and sent him flying with his sword, leaving behind a large cloud of blood mist in midair. In the next moment, Yu Nichang's chest, which was penetrated by Qianling of Gojoseon, healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. You dare to injure me? Yu Nichang's blood-red eyes returned to normal, and she let out a cold and indifferent voice. A huge hand that covered the sky slapped across the air, and several Dao intents quickly condensed into a huge hand that covered the sky. It slapped on Qianling of Gojoseon's body ruthlessly like swatting a fly. He was sent flying, and more than half of the bones in his body were broken. Nikhang, what happened to you? Yu Nikhang might have resolved the crisis, but when Yi Chunfeng looked at her, he felt a trace of coldness from her, as if he didn't recognize her. Yu Nikhang heard Yi Chunfeng's voice, but she didn't pay attention to him. She didn't even look at him. At this moment, her eyes were completely locked onto the severely injured Qianling of Gojoseon. Junior, how dare you offend me? Yu Nikhang let out a voice like a superior. She looked coldly at Qianling of Gojoseon, whose expression changed drastically. She reached out her right hand across the air again and condensed a huge hand that covered a space of 1 mile. The huge hand that covered the sky was flowing with innate Tao patterns. It tore through the void and grabbed at Qianling of Gojoseon. Blood escape. Yu Nichang's strength was beyond his imagination, and he could smell the threat of death from the huge hand. He didn't dare to stay any longer and burned all the blood in his body at all costs. He executed the blood escape at an astonishing speed and fled out of the Yu family's house that had been razed to the ground. Boom! The huge hand that covered the sky fell, and the space collapsed. The terrifying power was like a boiling tide that instantly spread across dozens of miles. It ruthlessly bombarded Qianling of Gojoseon, who had turned into a bloodlight and fled. If it wasn't for Qianling of Gojoseon's, the huge hand's counterforce, it would have been enough to kill Qianling of Gojoseon from a distance. When Prince Qianling fled, the 8th prince, Haiming II, and the others who had been scared silly by the scene in front of them did not dare to stay any longer. They quickly fled out of the Yu clan's old residence. Everyone from the Yu family, stay here. I will kill whoever dares to escape. Yu Nikhang let out a cold voice and gave an order that didn't allow anyone to defy. After hearing Yu Nichang's order, Yu Chan, Yu Gu, and the others shuddered and revealed a bitter smile. They didn't dare to follow the 8th prince, Hemingway Map, and the others. They waited anxiously at the same spot. Yu Nikhang could severely injure Qianling of Gojoseon from a distance. She could probably kill them with just a thought. Furthermore, they had a thought in their minds. They wanted to apologize to Yu Nikhang and Yi Chenfeng and beg for their forgiveness. If they were willing to forgive them, with their strength, they would definitely be able to create a new future for the Yu family. Nikhang, what happened to you? Although Yu Nichang's appearance hadn't changed, her demeanor and aura had changed drastically. Yi Chenfeng felt like he didn't recognize her anymore. He really wanted to know what happened to her. Let's talk about our matters later. Yu Nikhang glanced at Yi Chenfeng, who was covered in blood and had a concerned look on his face. She revealed a complicated expression and spoke emotionlessly. Okay. When Yi Chenfeng sensed Yu Nichang's cold and distant gaze, he became even more worried. However, he didn't probe further. He stood by the side in silence and healed himself while waiting. Nikhang, it's all our fault. Please forgive us for our ignorance. I promise you that we won't interfere with you in the future. If you are willing, I can let you be the head of the Yu family. Yugu didn't care about his pride as he begged. Yes, as long as you are willing to forgive us, I will let you be the head of the family and focus on taking care of your child with Qingfeng. Yu-chan seemed to have aged a lot. She nodded and agreed. Child Yuet, Nikhang gently stroked her stomach. The complicated look in her eyes deepened. Since you raised me, I won't make things difficult for you. Let's let bygones be bygones. Yu Nikhang said emotionlessly. Really? Yugu and Yu-chan were overjoyed when they heard Yu Nichang's words. From today onwards, I will sever all ties with the Yu family and have nothing to do with them. Yu Nikhang continued as she looked at Yugu and the others, who were overjoyed. The smiles on Yugu and Yu-chan's faces froze. It was as if they had been struck by lightning. They were all dumbfounded. Nikhang, are you still not willing to forgive us? Tell us, what do we have to do for you to forgive us? As long as you tell us, we will do everything we can to satisfy you. Yu Nikhang was the most important factor in the Yu family's revival. Without her, the Yu family would not be able to recover from the losses they had suffered today. I said that I don't blame you, nor do I hate you. We are not from the same world, and we will not have anything to do with each other in the future. Yu Nikhang shook her head and said coldly, We are not from the same world. Yugu and Yu-chan widened their eyes as they tried to figure out the meaning behind Yu Nichang's words. However, Yi Qinfeng's heart skipped a beat. He had a bad premonition as he vaguely guessed Yu Nichang's big secret. Yi Qinfeng, come with me. Yu Nikhang no longer paid attention to Yugu and the others, who had fallen into a daze. She looked at Yi Qinfeng and said slowly, Okay. Yi Qinfeng nodded. He stepped into the air and followed Yu Nichang, who had a complicated expression on her face, to the Yu clan's old residence. They arrived at the Yu clan's Yu Chi Mountain, which was located in the northwest part of Moon State City. Nikhang, are you going to leave? Yi Qinfeng stood at the peak of the Yueti mountain range, facing the cold wind as he looked at Yu Nikhang, who had a cold expression on her face. It was as if she was a completely different person. He was the first to speak. You guessed my secret. Yu Nichang's cold eyes shot out beams of light. She looked at her husband, Yi Qinfeng, who had a close relationship with her, and asked in surprise. The power you use to severely injure Qianling of Gojoseon doesn't belong to this world. What you just said to the Yu family also confirmed my guess. You must be the reincarnation of a powerful person from the Qingyun realm. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and looked at Yu Nikhang, who he didn't recognize, and said slowly, You are very smart. Yu Nikhang said with a complicated expression, The battle just now awakened my memories and part of my power from my previous life. I am indeed not from this world. I came from the core of the Qingyun realm, the Void God world. I am the reincarnation of someone from the Void God world. I was right. Yi Qinfeng showed a bitter smile and said, I didn't expect my wife to have such a powerful background. Yi Qinfeng, forget about me. You and I don't belong to the same world. We can't be together. Although Yu Nichang's mind kept flashing with the beautiful image of Yi Qinfeng, her expression was still cold as she said resolutely, Forget that you're my wife. How can I forget? Yi Qinfeng said bitterly. My wife's original Yu Nikhang is already dead. What's the point of adding to your grief? Yu Nichang's expression became even more complicated. A trace of emotion appeared in her heartless eyes. Nikhang is not dead. You are Nikhang. As he spoke, under Yu Nichang's enlarged gaze, Yi Qinfeng suddenly hugged her in his arms. Being hugged tightly by Yi Qinfeng, Yu Nichang's body immediately generated a terrible power. If she released this power, it was enough to kill Yi Qinfeng. However, thinking about how good Yi Qinfeng was to her, thinking about the feeling she had sealed away, she sighed faintly. Restraining this surge of power, she said, Let's just take this as a farewell hug. After this hug, we will have nothing to do with each other anymore. Nikhang, please don't go. Stay. Yi Qinfeng gave up all his dignity and said in a pleading tone, I can't do it. Yu Nikhang refused heartlessly. Her body flashed slightly and left Yi Qinfeng's warm embrace. She waved her arm, and endless power gushed out of her body. It pierced through countless spaces and interfaces and opened up a space black hole. Nikhang, don't go. Seeing you, Nikhang pierced a space black hole in the void. Yi Chenfeng immediately became anxious and loudly urged her to stay. All right, Yi Chenfeng, I'll give you one more chance. If within 10,000 years you can ascend to the void god realm and find me, I'll continue our previous fate. Looking at Yi Chenfeng's reluctant expression, Yu Nichang's heartstrings were touched. She gently covered her stomach and gave Yi Chenfeng a glimmer of hope. She flew into the space black hole and disappeared from the peak of the eastern continent. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you can see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 10:14. The autumn wind rustled, blowing down large amounts of fallen leaves. The entire world was close to winter. Watermark advertisement, test watermark advertisement, testing. Pull yourself together. With your talent and strength, you will definitely be able to walk together with Nikhang. Zhang Yue, who was wearing a jade green dress that showed no signs of aging, came to a quiet lake. She looked at Yi Chenfeng, who was drinking wine in silence and was lost in thought, and softly advised him. After Yu Nikhang left, Yi Chenfeng did not return to the Yu family to take revenge on Yu Gu and the others. Instead, he left the eastern continent and returned to the northern spiritual region. However, Yu Nichang's departure was a huge blow to Yi Chenfeng. His martial heart also showed signs of cracking. Don't worry, Senior Zheng, I'm fine. I'm just a little reluctant. After so many years of feelings, it's gone just like that. Yi Chenfeng put down the wine jug and looked at Zhang Biyue, who had a mature charm with drunken eyes, and said bitterly, "If you're willing to give up, you won't get anything. If you continue to be drunk like this, then your last hope will be destroyed. Pull yourself together again." Zhang Biyue gently patted Yi Chenfeng's shoulder. After a few words of persuasion, she floated away. "If you're willing to give up, you won't get anything." Zhang Biyue's words were like a huge bell that exploded in Yi Chenfeng's soul. It made him feel enlightened, and his broken martial heart was miraculously repaired. The latest and fastest update. Yes, Senior Zhang was right. If you're not willing to give up, you won't get anything. I still have hope. Yi Chenfeng took a deep breath and swore in his heart, "Nikhang, wait for me. Within 10,000 years, I will definitely go to the Void God realm to find you and pursue you again." With his fighting spirit reignited, Yi Chenfeng dispelled the smell of alcohol in his body and sat cross-legged by the lake. He controlled the God-Eater brain to deduce the 8th Prince's soul memory and cultivate the 3 heads, 6 arms cultivation method he had obtained from his soul memory. The 3 heads, 6 arms technique was a technique passed down by the demon clan. It was extremely difficult to cultivate it. However, the God-Eater brain had undergone 6 transformations and possessed the ability to deduce. In addition, Yi Chenfeng had a physical body that was even more terrifying than a demon's, and he also had the bloodline of the dragon. He was completely capable of cultivating the 3 heads, 6 arms technique, which had been passed down in the Kirin Kingdom for countless years. As for Yi Chenfeng, once he cultivated the 3 heads, 6 arms, his battle prowess would increase by 6 times. He would be able to kill a level 6 Beast Emperor with ease. 3 heads and 6 arms turn out to be the embodiment of power, stimulating one's potential and condensing the ultimate form. Yi Chenfeng controlled the God-Eater brain to deduce the 3 heads, 6 arms cultivation formula. He had a whole new understanding of this powerful skill. Silently, he started to cultivate by the lakeside. "Fairy Baihua, you really have a way." Her words reignited Yi Chenfeng's fighting spirit. Seeing Yi Chenfeng cultivating by the lakeside from afar, Kong Sungchen and the others revealed a faint smile. Alas, although Chenfeng's fighting spirit was reignited, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens for him to marry Yu Nikhang. Zhang Biyue sighed softly and said, "Yes, the Qingyan realm is already very far away from us, and Yu Nichang's previous incarnation came from the core of the Qingyan realm, the Nihility God realm. Bai Feng nodded and said, although I don't know what kind of terrifying existence exists in the Nihility God realm, but a world with a god in its name, just thinking about it is enough to frighten people. What? You don't think Xingfeng will win? Kong Sungchun said, but I think he will win the heart of the beauty, because he is a man who can create miracles. Zhang Biyue asked, Star King, now that things here are over, are you going to return to the Xingluo continent or go to the Central World? Although I have broken through to the level 6 combat Beast Emperor realm, I don't have much time left. I want to go to the Central World. Even if I die, I won't have any regrets. Xingluo continent was basically unified. Kong Sungchun was no longer worried about the safety of the Jiang family. He wanted to go to the Central World and try to challenge the Qingyun realm gate. I have the same idea. Even if we fail to challenge the Qingyun realm, we still have a chance to cultivate to the Nirvana realm. Bai Feng laughed and said, then when Xingfeng wakes up, I will go to the Central World with you. Zhang Biyue showed a charming smile and agreed. Days passed. Yi Chunfeng was like a statue, sitting motionlessly by the lake in silence. The God-Eater brain's calculation speed had reached its limit. It kept calculating the cultivation method of 3 heads and 6 arms, trying to condense the arms and the head. About 11 days later, Yi Chunfeng suddenly opened his eyes. The dragon bloodline in his body was boiling. More than 50 million pounds of strength broke out of his body and condensed into 2 powerful arms and head. 3 heads and 6 arms. How did Chunfeng learn this technique? Kong Sungchun and the other 2 who were guarding Yi Chunfeng in silence widened their eyes in disbelief. They couldn't figure out how Yi Chunfeng had obtained the theurgy of the Kirin kingdom. Sword, axe, hammer, halberd, dagger axe, shield. Yi Chunfeng forcibly transformed into 3 heads and 6 arms, then took out 6 mid-grade Taoist weapons and held them in his hands. He launched a shocking attack at the lake before him. Boom, boom, boom. Yi Chunfeng waved his 6 arms, and the power of his 5 acupoints erupted. The 6 great Dao tools exploded with a shocking power and tore the quiet lake apart. 6 bottomless trenches were formed in the lake, and half of the water in the lake was evaporated. Not bad, not bad. The offensive power of 3 heads and 6 arms is indeed terrifying. If I ignite my divine demon bloodline and transform into the divine demon body, ordinary level 6 combat beast emperors would be smashed into meat paste. Yi Chunfeng was very satisfied with the destructive power of 3 heads and 6 arms. After mastering this theurgy, his strength had become even stronger. Chunfeng, congratulations on obtaining another trump card. At this time, Kong Sungchun and the other 2 flew to Yi Chunfeng's side and congratulated him. Chunfeng would like to thank the 3 seniors for their help. These 3 heavenly fire jujubes will be my gift to the 3 seniors. Yi Chunfeng plucked 3 heavenly fire jujubes that were more than 200,000 years old and gave them to Kong Sungchun and the other 2. Chunfeng, us 3 old fellows are preparing to go to the Empyrean Divine Kingdom in the Central Continent. I wonder if you will be coming as well? After Kong Sungchun and the other 2 accepted the precious heavenly fire jujubes, Zhang Biyue asked, I will definitely go to the Central Continent, but I have more important things to do right now. I'm afraid I won't be able to go in the near future. In order to increase his strength as soon as possible, Yi Chunfeng was preparing to go to the abyss of hell, which was related to his birth, to search for the mystery of his birth. All right then, we will wait for you in the Empyrean Divine Kingdom. Kong Sungchun and the other 2 nodded. One day later, Kong Sungchun and the other 2 bid farewell to Yi Chunfeng and set off for the central world of the Duhan continent. Yi Chunfeng did not return to the eastern continent immediately. Instead, he headed to the North Sea continent. He was preparing to enter the land of 2 extremes of life and death again to capture precious life spirits and help the Chaos Divine Beast retrieve its corpse from the Heavenlock Formation. Mobile reading website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to read it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.